On Senior Day, North Dakota State flew high over the competition, blasting South Dakota at home to wrap up the program's 9th straight Missouri Valley Conference title. But the Bison still have something to play for this weekend, a perfect record in the regular season and the top overall seed in the playoffs. The Herd invades Southern Illinois in the regular season finale, coming up next.
Get your horns up! Tailgating in the parking lot. Now that clock is ticking down. The boys are ready to go. The energy in here's electric. Let's get on with the show. Get your horns up. The green and gold are back in town. Get your horns up. Pumped up and ready to throw down. Toss that coin up in the air. Bring the boys up to the line. Hold your horns up high because it's Bison time.
Welcome to Salukis Stadium in Carbondale, Illinois, on a dark, a dreary, a cold, and a misty afternoon here at Salukis Stadium as North Dakota State, #1 in the nation, takes on Southern Illinois in the regular season finale. Thanks so much for joining us here this afternoon on the KVOI KFYR Bison Network. Brian Sean Lee Timmerman with you. Ryan Gellner will join us from the sidelines. And for North Dakota State, a chance to reach another pinnacle. 33 straight wins for this program, tying the all-time FCS mark this same program set back in 2014.
Yeah, you thought at the time when that 33-game winning streak could stop, you go, oh, there's going to be decades before that thing gets broke or tied. Well, here we are, sitting right at it, and we're way less than a decade away from doing it again.
Meanwhile, Southern Illinois is a team that has plenty to play for as well here in the regular season finale. A win today for the Salukis would guarantee themselves a playoff spot for the first time since 2009.
And a loss, if the Salukis play well today, might be enough to get them past that bubble as well. But certainly a win, and you're in if you're SIU. But if there's such a thing as an impressive loss, and then we know through the eyes of the committee that thing does exist, well, if they can hang, that might be enough to get into the playoffs. But we'll see what happens today.
North Dakota State has run the ball so well, especially over the last month, averaging almost 300 yards a game on the ground. This is a game that will be important to run the football, establish the run, but also hang on to that thing because it could be a little slick.
Yeah, I don't think either team's going to throw the ball very well today if the conditions stay like this. Both teams, though, are saying we need to run the ball to win. And when you have to run the ball well against NDSU, well, we know what that formula's been like. The Bison usually do not lose games when that's the scenario.
The two quarterbacks for today, Trey Lance, I mean, we've talked about this guy ad nauseum because of what he's been able to do as a redshirt freshman. He's opened eyes all over the country, not just at the FCS level, but all over the place in college football. Corey Lyles on the other side for Southern Illinois has stepped in after not being named the starter earlier this season and done a pretty nice job managing this offense.
Manage is the key word there because they just flat out say he is a game manager. The passing game is not a complicated one from Lyles. It's usually one read, and if you don't have it to move, he's the biggest thing I think with Lyles compared to some of the other quarterbacks the Bison have faced lately is he is not a running quarterback per se, so that's why the Wildcat exists, but that's one benefit I think the Bison have. Lyles in the run game, not that big of a factor.
Not super windy, but there's a chill in the air. It's not quite 40 degrees. The rain, you can definitely feel it. There's a lot of moisture, and I think that makes it feel a lot colder than it is.
It'll be really important for the guys that have to handle the football. You know, the quarterbacks just in the center exchange, the punters, making sure they have a clean snap. So we'll see how that affects the game as today goes through.
Let's go to the coin toss.
Davis, 29 Cody Kreider, and 59.
Gentlemen, my name's Matt. I'll be the referee. Dan's our umpire. Congratulations on being captain to your team. The special 150th year of college football. With that, we have a special coin. Number or logo will be your choice. Your choice is, please?
Logo.
Logo's the call, Dan. It is numbers. Southern Illinois, you've won the toss.
Deferred.
Southern Illinois won the toss, deferred their choice to the second half.
The Missouri Valley Conference.
North Dakota State will receive at the south end of the end zone. Gentlemen, good luck today. Have fun.
We ask all persons to please show respect to the opposing team.
So North Dakota State losing the toss, Southern Illinois deferring to the second half, which means the Bison will have the football first as we take a look at head coach Matt Entz. Started his head coaching career after nearly over 2 decades as an assistant head coach. And off to a pretty good start here in his debut.
Yes, indeed. Matt making the opportunity or the jump into the head coaching ranks from being the defensive coordinator he has for 15 years in his career.
Nick Hill, also in his 4th year, got the job when he was just 31 years old. He was actually the head coach at Carbondale High School here just across the way 2 years prior to taking the head coaching job. So a guy that has recruited better and did a nice job trying to build this program
And
up.
Nick is a local kid. He's from DuQuoin, which is just about 20 miles, 15 miles up the road.
Let's go down to the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Ryan Gellner. Hopefully staying dry on the sidelines. Has an update for us, Ryan.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. A First International Bank and Trust sideline report. Jabril Cox, the Bison who missed his first career game last week, he's coming back. He will start today. I asked Jabril before the game, when did you decide that you could go? He said, I met with the doctor on Wednesday, worked through the week. He said, I knew I could go talk to Coach today. Coach Ench said Jabril said he could play. He said, I turned to Jabril and said, well, then you're starting. Jabril Cox in the starting lineup today for that Bison defense, guys.
And what a jolt that is to get him back. North Dakota State was playing with a bunch of defensive backs at linebacker last week. James Kaiser, Michael Tutsi did a nice job, but number 42 is such a dynamic player. He makes a huge impact out there.
Well, we said at the time that last week was the right team to have a bunch of safeties on the field, meaning playing the Coyotes. You want your best tacklers and some guys with some speed, and that's what Jabril Cox is. He's got speed and he can tackle people, and he is back on the field today.
Southern Illinois has done a nice job in the kicking game covering kicks, and they squibbed this one down to Kobe Johnson. Had to go through his hands, and now he's in some trouble. Johnson taken down back at the 8-yard line, and North Dakota State will be backed up. Let's take a look at the Bison offense, sponsored by Shields.
Trey Lance, Marshall, Minnesota.
Dylan Radens, Becker, Minnesota.
Nash Jensen, Osceola, Minnesota.
Carson Shooting, Raleigh, North Dakota.
Zach Johnson, Spring Lake Park, Minnesota.
Cordell Volson, Belfort, North Dakota.
Ben Ellefson, Holly, Minnesota.
Garrett Malmstrom, Burgess, Minnesota. Adam Cofield, Lee Summit, Missouri.
Christian Watson, Tampa, Florida.
Phoenix Sproles, New Hope, Minnesota.
North Dakota State starting in the shotgun here, and the quarterback run to Trey Lance, and a good gain on first down of 5 yards up to the 14-yard line.
Quarterback run in the game plan much more today than it has been the last couple of last couple of weeks. Bison don't want to have to run him if they don't need to, but when the shadow of your own goal line on a first down play, good time to use your second top runner.
Operating out of the shotgun once again, and this time the inside give will go to Cofield, and a nice tackle inside that time by Jordan Berner, crashing down from his defensive end spot to bring up 3rd and 5. Let's take a look at that SIU defense. Much better than what we saw, nearly 20 points per game less than a year ago. Remember, the Bison won 65-17 in the regular season finale, and the two safeties in particular, Jeremy Chin and Quay Brown, two really strong players.
Yeah, Chin's a guy who's going to play in the NFL. He's going to get draft type of a player. He did not play against the Bison last year.
Lance setting up in the pocket, firing on the out, and the open man is Jimmy Kapuris, who caught the ball at the 25-yard line. He is smacked by Badre Harper, but it's enough for a first down.
Well, it was a two-man route with Watson running the deep ball, and then also I think the key thing there is just how much time Trey Lance. He's been so clean in the pocket this year. He had the opportunity to wait for the 15-yard out to open up, and then threw a beautiful ball right over his zone coverage underneath it.
Back to the I formation here on 1st and 10. Quick throw out, and it is caught by Cole Jacob, who's getting more involved in the passing game. A couple of catches a week ago, and now his first here today, and it's a pickup of 5 on first down.
5th catch on the year for Cole. And this, I think, is just where Lance is looking to both sides on the pass play. It's not predetermined that Jacob is going to get the pass, but it's who's got the bigger cushion. It looked like the bigger cushion was on the high side. He was being played against Thompson, and Thompson giving a little bit more space on the first down pickup. And
Tyler Roll saying we got to get this guy the ball more. He's doing such a good job blocking for us in the run game. Lance double clutches, now going to take off and run. Gains a couple. Initial read was not there as Christian Watson was covered up, and that'll bring up 3rd and 4. Trey Lance, the numbers, tremendous. Sponsored by the North Dakota Beef Commission, funded by beef farmers and ranchers, 23 touchdowns. He's also run for 9 scores. He's completing over 70% of his passes this season.
That's tops in FCS.
Another big 3rd down here for the Bison from the 32. Lance is going to keep it. Trying to get to the edge, putting down the shoulder, and I think he's got enough for a 1st down. We'll see where they mark him out. Yep, that's enough, up to the 36. That moves the chains.
Well, it wasn't a smashing block, but it was the key block, and I thought it was thrown there by Ben Elfson. Watch 82 coming across the formation. Ben just goes up against Kreider, takes care of Kreider enough to allow the 1st down on your Donak Insurance Company replay. Couple of 3rd down pickups. Key stat for NDSU all year long.
Yeah, the Bison 53% on 3rd down so far this season, one of the best in the country. Lance setting up, wants to take a shot, instead coming back to Zach Mathis, who could not hang on to it. It was broken up by Harper at about the 47-yard line.
Because it was a pass across the field from one hash to the field, this allows Madre Harper an opportunity to catch back up, because Mathis ran a little bit of a button hook and got back to the outside. So the pass route was good, the pass was good, but Harper was just able to close enough with that ball in the air to take it away.
Harper, a transfer from Oklahoma State. Had a father that played football at Memphis. Inside give again, and not much room to run. Maybe a yard, maybe not. Just the line of scrimmage, and that is it, as Southern Illinois plugging things up. And that's the big man, Keenan Agnew, a sophomore out of Chesterfield, Missouri. And that Agnew name,
you shouldn't recognize it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Agnews that have played here over the years. Son of Ray.
Yeah, Malcolm and Ray Jr. have played here. And then Ray, of course, is still involved in the NFL. Their dad.
Yeah, I believe Agnew was the 10th pick overall in the 1990 draft. Played 6 seasons in the NFL. 3rd and long here as Ellison motions to the high side of the screen. Lance firing, open man is Kapuris, who makes another catch. And NDSU needed 10. The Bison ended up picking up 21. And another big 3rd down conversion.
The Salukis elect to rush 4. Nodak Insurance Company replay. You're going to see Lance have a lot of time. Clean pocket, steps up, and then fires it over the middle as you see Kapuris kind of jump zones. It was against a zone defense. Started on the near side hash mark, worked his way to the far side hash, and then a really good sight line from the quarterback to hit Jimmy Kapuris with his 20th catch to keep the NDSU on the field.
Back to the ground game, not much room. And now finding a hole and breaking free. It's going to be a touchdown for North Dakota State. Kobe Johnson taking it all the way. 44 yards for the score.
I believe it was the first power of the day. Yes, it was. You see 66. That's Nash Jensen with a little bit of a pull. But when you have to commit your safeties down so hard in the run game, once you pop free, there's no second level help. And there you see Johnson just coming out of that sea of bodies. And we know he has the speed to take it all the way in. And NDSU on the opening kickoff that started way back around the 10 scores 6 points.
And 3 big 3rd down conversions, 2 of them by Kapuris on receptions.
Play clock did not operate properly. Please start the play clock 25 seconds. Start on my side.
Matt Gallagher, your referee today for this Missouri Valley officiating crew. We ran into those guys everywhere yesterday. Ran into them in the airport
you guys
in
saw them in the
Minneapolis.
airport. We were ahead of you in the airport, but yeah, we were at the same restaurant last night.
Griffin Kroos on for the extra points. Hendricks gets it down, and Kroos bangs it through for a 7-0 lead. Kobe Johnson, 4th rushing touchdown of the season. This true freshman out of Georgia just continues to make huge plays when he gets the ball in his hands.
Nodak Insurance Company replay once again. A look at this touchdown run. Johnson stays. He gets behind the pads of Jensen, and he's anticipating a hit. He thinks he's going to get whacked in there. He really doesn't. Squirts free, and off he goes. Of course, against Youngstown State, you're going to remember that Johnson had the longest rush this year from scrimmage for the Bison. That was the 75-yarder. This 6 points puts NDSU ahead. And you know, on the kickoff too, as long as we're showing Kobe and talking about him, the thing I like about that kickoff, even though it squirted to him and it was late, the timing of the return was all off, he didn't try to do too much with it. He just realized, okay, I'll take our poison and start that drive inside the 10.
And there's a look at the rest of your officiating crew here today. Replay official is Terry Young. Garrett Wegner with a Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. Coming down at the 11. Pretty good coverage for NDSU. And now a flag flies in at the 22. Flags come in. Returned by Avante Cox, the transfer from Wyoming. But this likely coming back.
Well, there's the new rule this year. You can't set up the wedge. I wonder if this was it.
Good afternoon from the officiation crew. During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 4. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Southern Illinois keeps the football. First down.
And that will go against the true freshman P.J. Jules out of Orlando, Florida. And he's one of 4 guys on this team from Jones High School making their way here to Carbondale.
There's the guy we're looking at, number 4, right in the middle. That's Jules. Brian mentioned him. And the push in the back as he gets the hands behind Curtis.
So now SIU backed up to the 10. We'll see how those Salukis respond after the long North Dakota State drive. Delay and the handoff going inside to the workhorse DJ Davis. Just 5'8", 170, but this guy runs a lot bigger than that. No gain there, maybe a half yard.
Looks like the Salukis are going to try to play a little tempo here, get back to the line.
See Aaron Mercadell out there at linebacker as well. Back to the ground game, and NDSU stacking it up again. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Mercadell getting in there along with Jackson Hankey, 3rd and long coming up.
Hankey, the leading tackler, number 52 for the Bison, playing that middle linebacker position, the sophomore from Park River. There's Jabril Cox in there. There's Jackson. Boy, he's had such a really, really good year. Talk about guys who have played a lot of snaps. Of course, Cox didn't play last week, but that guy right there has been on the field for the vast majority of defensive snaps this year that NDSU has taken.
And Southern Illinois going with a little more tempo here, and this has not been what SIU's done a lot of this season. Davis again getting the call. Going to come up well short of the first down. Josh Hayes coming in to make that tackle from his corner spot. Let's take a look at the North Dakota State defense sponsored by Shields.
Spencer Wagee, South Shore, South Dakota. Cole Karch, Germantown, Wisconsin.
Jack Darnell, Champlin, Minnesota.
Derek Teska, Warner, South Dakota.
Aaron Mercadell, Oakland, California.
Jackson Hankey, Park River, North Dakota.
Jabril Cox, Kansas City, Missouri.
Marquise Bridges, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Michael Tetzi, Indianapolis, Indiana.
James Hendricks, Bemidji, Minnesota.
Josh Hayes, Lakeland, Florida.
And North Dakota State will have pretty good field position here as the ball bounces out of bounds on the punt at the 43-yard line. 7-0, North Dakota State on the Egg Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. Back in a moment. Oh, there's one of the tough guys here. The guy that's controlling our media timeout, Slayton.
He's got shorts on.
Yeah, shorts and t-shirt. And almost an interception there. Coming across the middle was Quay Brown. Lance looking for Hunter Lupke across the middle.
I think the Bison coaching staff thought they might be able to catch these safeties peeking into the backfield a little bit, trying to sneak somebody through, but no, that's Salukis running right up the gut, and then Quay Brown, the leading tackler, almost with his second interception.
Pitch to the outside. Some room up the middle, and then getting upended and banged down hard was Ty Brooks for no gain. Well, maybe he gave him a half yard on that. We'll bring up 3rd and long again.
Looked like linebacker Bryson Strong, number 31, the guy you're looking at right there, a sophomore, tripped him up, 4th leading tackler. Came in there, got on those legs, and the Bison facing 3rd and long.
And he was forced into action earlier this season when Bryce Notary, the starting linebacker in the middle, broke his foot against Southeast Missouri State. He's done a nice job filling in. Notary is in uniform today.
Yeah, we saw him this morning, or before the game, I should say.
Pressure coming on Lance. It's picked up. Lance is going to air it out deep, but a little bit too far for Phoenix Sproles. And I believe it was Joe Patterson in on coverage for SIU on a 3-and-out for the Bison.
Even though the pass is incomplete, what a beautiful job inside the offensive lineman did to pick up. There was both A gaps had Salukis players in them, and then linebackers blitz right behind the double. So it was double A gaps on both sides of the center, and Lance was still able to get the pass off downfield. It was incomplete, but a good job, I think, so NDSU had an opportunity to pass it.
Garrett Wegner on for his first punt, and this will come down at the 20-yard line. Javon Williams makes the fair catch, and that's where the Salukis will have it, trailing 7-0 on the Ag Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. 7:23 to go in the first quarter from Salukis Stadium. Time now for the Gate City Bank Fan Cam. Send us your home or watch party pics to fancamyourcam.com. We'll show those in the 4th quarter. Folks are bundled up trying to stay dry. Not pleasant today here in Carbondale. Flag comes out, and did somebody jump from NDSU? Is either Spencer Wagee, or it was going to go against Bo Branyan, I believe, or is Lucas Davis playing today for Branyan at right tackle? Looks like it is Davis.
You saw a different formation in there. We get for the first time, Javon Williams Jr. You talk about some outstanding stuff that freshman Trey Lance has done. This freshman, redshirt freshman for the Salukis, has been outstanding. He is the Wildcat quarterback, and look at that guy. He's big, 240 pounds.
He's already rushed for over 900 yards this year, and this Wildcat formation has the North Dakota State defensive coaches concerned today. This guy can really run, and as LT mentioned, very big. And there you see it. Carrying tacklers running really hard. A gain of 9 up to the 34-yard line.
Your Nodak Insurance Company replay. And the reason the Bison are really worried about him as a Wildcat play, because most teams that use Wildcat have 4 or 5 plays. They're trying to throw the defense off. No, this is the blocking schemes, multiple formations. They do a lot with this guy running the ball out of the Wildcat.
He's only thrown the ball 11 times, but he's still a threat to throw it. So that's one of those things NDSU has to be wary of. And there he goes again. This time the Bison able to hit him near the line of scrimmage. Still falls ahead for a gain of 4. Gate City Bank is proud to support the NDSU Bison. Show your Bison pride today with a free NDSU Gate City Bank debit card. Visit gatecity.bank/mycard. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC.
Yeah, we were talking with David Braun, the defensive coordinator this week, and his line was, all they have to do is name their price and I'll pay it. And then he starts laughing, meaning not run this formation with Williams at quarterback. Now they're back to traditional, but he's still in the backfields.
And this is what gets tricky, is you put both of these guys back there. He's going to get the carry. Bison trying to stack him up. Still pushing ahead to the 40, maybe the 41-yard line. Will bring up 3rd and 3.
You're right, Brian. That's what pushed the pressure on the play callers from and the adjustments you make from the sidelines, depending on who is in there at quarterback. Now, both of these guys are in the backfield, so it's really hard to make a late adjustment in a play clock when you have number 3 and number 15 side by side.
Lyles is going to throw it on the comeback, and he's on target, and it's caught by Landon Lenore, making his first reception of the day. And Lenore, the younger brother of Lance, who is the all-time receptions touchdown leader at Western Illinois.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. This is what they ask their receivers and the quarterback Lyles to do. They don't do much special. Most of them are simple single receiver concepts. It's either open or it isn't. If it's open, he'll fire it quick.
97th career reception for Lenore, just a junior out of Crete, Illinois. Lyles going to swing it out. Williams in space, dangerous man. And look how many Bison it takes to bring this guy down. Good pickup of close to 8 yards inside NDSU territory to the 43. Let's pause now for a quick message from Tobolt Seed.
Tobolt Seed offers the latest in seed cleaning technology to ensure your crop's full potential. Tobolt Seed also contracts, produces, and supplies the finest quality non-GMO soybeans to food manufacturers around the globe. Tobolt Seed, grow with us.
And Williams picking up a first down on another run to the Bison 40. Kaiser coming up to make the tackle.
Now Williams is going to go to the quarterback as Lyles comes out of the game. He's had a couple of runs from that running back position. But he's a somewhat local kid. He's about straight north of here, an hour and 15 minutes. And he had some FBS looks, but those teams backed off of him and allowed the Salukis to stay with him and bring him down here to Carbondale.
And grew up just an hour from here. There he goes again, and the Bison this time able to meet him in the backfield. And I think Spencer Wagee was the first man there. That's a loss of 1.
Yeah, Wagee was able to square him up and then just slide down, make sure he stayed around the legs. But you could tell it was zone blocking. Williams wasn't in a hurry to go to a certain spot. He was waiting for a seam to open up. It didn't as Wagee came down from his defensive end. Here's a super slow-mo, as you're going to see. This is a new trick we have today, some new technology in the truck, showing it to you. The super slow-mo, Wagee and friends making the tackle.
Lyles back into the game with DJ Davis here on second and long, and Lyles hanging in, is going to take a shot deep for Lenore. Hendricks in coverage, and he makes the interception at the 2-yard line.
Lyles pass intercepted by James Hendricks.
You would think the Salukis had what they wanted. They're one of their best receivers, probably top receiver, at least down the field against the free safety one-on-one. But he's able to stay on the hip. Beautiful position. 3rd interception on the year, 12th of his career. The Bison have the ball back. Here's the play. All eyes on that football. It clears out. There's James Hendricks with the perfect position on the inside hip once again. And here's that super slow-mo. What I like is Tutsi right there. Before the play is even down, he's got that finger in the air going, hey, interception. My man's going to catch that ball.
Not much room on first down as North Dakota State is trying to get some breathing room here.
2nd and 9 from the Bison 4.
Give to Cofield. Boy, look at SIU just swarm in on the run, and it's Harper jolting into the backfield. Those safeties also get very involved in the running game, and there you see another man from SIU, number 51.
Waiting for something to open, and it does not. I like so far what SIU's doing in the A-gaps. They're taking both of their defensive tackles and really squeezing the center, Carson Schuning, on each side. So that's how the Salukis have decided to attack the A-gap. NDSU has seen more of that through pinching defensive ends in the last month or so.
SIU showing some pressure here up the middle with Kreider. Now they back out of it. Lance is going to dump it off, and it's again caught by Kapuris. His 3rd big catch on 3rd down, and that'll move the chains up to the 24.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. Kapuris with the catch. He gets past Chin. That's the kid who's going to play in the NFL. He beats on this play. And Jimmy Kapuris has been the third down magic so far today in this first half for the Bison.
Trey Lance so far able to come up with some big throws on third down. He was just going to throw it out to Kapuris, and they're saying right away incomplete. Some thought maybe he was behind him, and Kapuris took no chances knocking it out of bounds.
Well, most of the time the ball flies out of his hand really nice. This time it did not.
Buying, building, or refinancing. Start with a free immediate pre-approval from Gate City Bank and experience a better home loan. Get started today at gatecity.bank for a better way of life. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, so far Lance and Kapuris through the air have really bailed the offense out a little bit on some of these third and longs. What did Coach Roll want to make sure that didn't happen? They got behind the chains.
And there's some room to run up the middle to the 29-yard line, and a good pickup that time for Kobe Johnson on that carry for NDSU. Bring up 3rd and 3.
This will come right at you in that super slow-mo look once again. There's Kreider, probably runs the play a little bit, but Zach Johnson takes care of him. And Kobe Johnson's able to get the ball up to the 28-yard line.
Jeremy Chin, another tackle. He had 15 last week against Western Illinois. Lance is going to take it on 3rd down and see if he can get the first. Pyle pushing ahead. And there is a flag back at the 25.
Flag comes from the near side head linesman. Illegal shift.
That'll cost the Bison 5, and I think Lance would have had enough for a first down, so the Bison will have to come up with another 3rd and long conversion here. NDSU going with the gold, white, gold pants with the snorty on the helmet for the 2nd straight week. Lance has pressure coming, and he just throws it into the turf. I think NDSU may be trying to set up a screen there to Cofield, and Lance doing the wise thing and just getting rid of the football.
Well, we talk about his poise and his decision making, and here appears to be another really solid decision. Not force anything. I know Coach Kleiman always used to say every once in a while, and I'm sure Coach Entz takes that same thought process. Sometimes a punt is not a bad way to end the possession. Now that's going nowhere.
That'll bring on Wegner for another punt as we're winding down this first quarter, and does not travel very far, but not a bad job there from Wegner in the conditions. A 40-yard boot. Williams makes the fair catch at the 40-yard line with 15 seconds to go. Williams is a guy too, LT. His production in high school was just off the charts. He had 52 touchdowns in his senior season, which tied an Illinois State high school record. 30 of those on the ground, 22 in the air.
Yeah, 4,362 yards, 3rd all-time in the state of Illinois for a single season his senior year.
2 in the backfield here with Williams on 1st down.
He was also a really good basketball player too in high school.
Williams going to keep. Michael Tutsi coming in to make first contact after a gain of 4, and that should take us to the end of this first quarter. North Dakota State, an opening drive that went over 90 yards as Kobe Johnson scored his 4th touchdown of the year. And that's where we stand. 7-0 NDSU after 1 from here at Salukis Stadium in Carbondale. Here at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. A very southern tip of the state, 2 hours south from St. Louis. Brian Shaw, Lee Timmerman, Ryan Gellner here with you. 2nd and 6 for SIU. The give inside, Davis. Game 2 will bring up 3rd and 4. Jackson Hankey's been a busy guy today.
If you want to look for maybe a tell on what the Salukis might be thinking, just see who's out on the field in terms of their tight ends. If you see 43 Jacob Garrett, more often than not, probably 70 or 80% of the time, it's going to be a running play. If Nigel Kirby, number 13, is out there, most of the time it's a pass play. Right there's the man. Look for a run play. We'll see if they hold the script.
Bison with 5 down linemen trying to stop this Wildcat formation, and Williams keeps pushing ahead across the 50 to the Bison 48, enough for a first down.
I mean, the Bison have seen really good runners throughout the course of the time, and even this year as well. What they haven't seen is a kid this big and this strong and this physical. I mean, look at the guys he's running past here. Here's Jabril Cox, squares him up with some help on the legs a little bit. You know, Mercadal is in there, a linebacker. Here comes a safety, and he still gets the first down. That's the uniqueness of that kid.
Lyles behind center, puts Cox in motion. Inside handoff, boy, Wagey read that thing perfectly, coming off the edge again. Not much room for Davis. And a loss of a yard.
Jacob Marin, the center, I think he was pulling to try to take care of Spencer Wagey. Wagey saw him coming and used his speed and his footwork to slide past that little bit of a pull, get in on the play, and make it a -1. Just really good play recognition by the defensive end, Spencer Wagey.
The left side of this line, a lot of experience. 97 career starts for SIU. That's the spot they run most of the time. Patient running again for Williams, picking his way and picking up 5 more yards, and 3rd and 7 coming up. Already the 8th carry of the day for that big man. And I suspect we're going to see close to 25 or 30 today before it's all said and done.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you? But also I think we suspect too, when Williams is in there, somewhere you're going to see the play action, because right now the safeties have really had to roll so hard into the run fits that sometimes you might be able to get something behind him.
Lyles will get a signal from the sideline here, and now Davis will flip sides. They're going to give it to Davis. Taken down after a pickup of 3 more, and that'll bring up 4th and 3 from the 41. And the offense staying on the field here for the Salukis.
The Salukis are a little bit more right-handed when Williams is in the game running, but still they're right-handed, and the main reason for that is because Furcron, number 59, the left guard, he's their best puller. So you pull him to get in front. So that's why you'll see more plays to the right side in the running game than to the left.
NDSU making a quick switch here. And Lyles is going to throw it. Now might run it. Not known as a runner, but he's got the first down as Mercadal closes in, and Lyles to the 35-yard line.
Here's the defensive coordinators both battling each other, because the Bison bring the run stopper Mercadal late onto the field. Everyone's not quite set. It's a pass play, but Lyles gets out of it, sees an opening, and does what he doesn't do a lot, and that's scramble, but he scrambled for the first down.
Eighth play of this drive. Williams again. Getting away. Boy, look at the Bison have to hang on as Derek Tuska had him by the ankle, and he still was able to drag him 5 yards.
Derek Tuska, along with Michael Tuska. Gain of 5 on the play.
Southern Illinois has yet to put the ball in the air here on this drive, and why do it? No reason to.
Yeah, if you're SIU, you'll take the 5-yard pickups all day long.
Davis. Driven back. Kaiser in there on another tackle, and another 3rd and 3 coming up. Experience a better home loan with Gate City Bank. Whether you're buying, building, or refinancing, Gate City Bank provides locally approved, financed, and serviced home loans. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I think that last run, Brian, is a perfect example of the difference between the two guys, and it's just size. Davis goes 170, 175 pounds. His first contact, the play was stopped. When Williams is in there, he has not stopped on his first contact, and he is back in there once again.
You see Lyles to the top side of your screen there, lining up at wideout. Lenore in motion. Bison try to read it. Williams gets away. Down the sideline to the 5. Cutting inside. Touchdown.
The Lenore motion through the backfield made the Bison shift just a little bit to the wide side. Opens up the near side. Williams takes advantage of it. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Jabril Cox gets caught inside. He is the man with outside leverage. Once that doesn't happen, and then some nimble feet at the end of that one to kind of jump and sidestep his way into the end zone.
Nico Gualdoni on for the extra point. Doing a nice job filling in for the injured Griffin Sierra. And Southern Illinois has tied things up. 9:35 to go in the second quarter, as SIU is riding their big redshirt freshman, Javon Williams. 10 carries, 65 yards, and now a touchdown. Bobcats scoring recap. 10 plays, all of them on the ground. 60 yards in nearly 6 minutes as Williams takes it in from 28 yards, and he's over 1,000 for the season.
Well, we know why the Bison were worried. This guy looks better in person than he does on film, and I tell you, we watched a lot of film this week, Brian, and he looked pretty good on that too, didn't he?
As I mentioned, SIU, number 1 in the Valley in kickoff return defense, 15.5 yards a game. NDSU, number 1 in the Valley in return yardage. Watson, some nice running after fielding the short kickoff, and the Bison good field position up to the 37.
Well, Chance Bush did a nice job of turning Watson back inside, and once he did that, he was able to make the play. I thought there was an opportunity if Christian could maybe bounce it and then get up the sideline, they might have a chance to break it.
We do have a penalty marker on the field.
There's a penalty, I believe.
Missed it.
Well, I guess it's a sideline warning against NDSU.
Well, obviously, Tyler Roll and his offense wants better first down production. Third down has been really good so far today. First down production, not quite what the Bison had hoped for.
SIU out rushing NDSU 84-62 in yardage so far here today. Lance across the middle. Kapuris makes another catch, and he's got a first down. Gain of 11 to the 48.
Nice little using both Elfson and here Kapuris making a cut on the inside, and then Lance just decides which one of those two routes, which were similar on both sides of the formation, that he wants to go with. He's able to pick Kapuris. Jimmy's 4th catch already?
4 catches, 61 yards here in the first half. Ground game. Cofield has room up the middle. Now to the outside, and now cutting it back up in. And a big run for Cofield inside the 25-yard line. Jeremy Chin chased him down from his safety spot.
Well, teams have had some success against the Salukis by running inside, and that time there was a power play. The Bison have only run it a couple of times today, and they've both been big gainers. This time it was Zach Johnson being the puller and leading up through the hole. So the Bison haven't used it a lot, but it has been effective.
Zach Johnson jumping early.
Well, Malik Haynes, excuse me, is 5'11", 334 pounds, and he's one of those guys that the center and the 2 guards have to deal with today. They've been heavy in the A gap so far, and it looked like Johnson just wanted to get a little bit too early of a start.
Corey Johnson has checked in at tailback. Sproles, Kapuris and Christian Watson, the 3 receivers, with Ellefson in a tight end. Inside give goes to Johnson. Got a pretty good push that time. Able to gain 7 down to the 22. Boy, there's a lot of talking, jawing, pushing going on between the big guys up front.
Salukis altered their defensive line approach that time. They split those tackles out a little bit deeper, or a little bit wider. NDSU trying to run inside of them. You're right, there's a lot of physicality going on the offensive and defensive lines.
Lance is going to throw it. Was looking for Watson, and I think Watson broke inside. He thought he was going to break outside, and that'll bring up 3rd and 8.
But when the play started to break down in the backfield, I think Lance was looking and hoping that Watson was able to see that and make an adjustment deep.
NDSU 4 of 6 on 3rd down today, and this is another 3rd and long. Maybe 2 down territory too, LT, depending on what happens here. SIU bringing pressure. Lance taken down on the play, and it was Jeremy Chin flying in from his safety spot as Lance is taken down at the 30.
Linebackers, safeties, kitchen sink. They all came flying in on this particular play, and Chin was the first one to get there. But I tell you, I think Cody Kreider was also coming in on the play, 29. Yes, he was. Chin's able to dip that shoulder, get past the center, and get in on the quarterback. Multiple levels all coming on that particular blitz package. Jason Petrino selling out. And if Jason Petrino's name sounds familiar, it should. He was the defensive coordinator at USD for a few years. And out west, in our part of the state anyway, his first full-time coaching position was at the University of Mary.
Spent the last few years at Rocky Mountain College out in Montana. And interestingly enough, Petrino is renting Dale Lennon's house here in Carbondale. So NDSU will bring out the punting unit, as that really knocked NDSU out of field goal range, and then the Bison took a 5-yard delay of game to try to give Wegner some more room. Williams standing at his 10. Oh boy. Not the effort Garrett Wegner was hoping for, as this ball will come back out to the 19. And NDSU only gains about 16 yards of field position there on that punt. We step aside, 6:28 to go in the first half. We're tied at 7. Time now for the Gate City Bank Fan Cam. Send us your home or watch party pics to fancamyourcam.com. We'll show those in the 4th quarter. Not the most pleasant conditions to watch a game, but so far the fans that are here have been treated to a good one. Davis hit again right as he got the football, and the Bison almost on a run blitz that time. Had a lot of guys flying inside, and Tony Pierce coming in to make that tackle for a loss of 1.
Well, the blitzer was Michael Tutsi, the strong safety, came flying in there to help as well.
Pierce recording his first sack of his career against South Dakota last week. Tutsi from Warren Central has a former teammate of his, Romeo Elliott, who's a freshman running back on this team.
There's the Wildcat, as you see the quarterback going out to the wide receiver position.
And Aaron Mercadell, Jackson Hankey, among others, getting in there to take down the big man after a gain of 1, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
There just shows you the importance of a defensive line on a run play. Was there a defensive lineman in on that tackle? No. What was their job? To keep the linebackers clean. 55 was there, 52 was there. Nobody was on the second level. They were able to scrape hard to their left and make it a pickup of maybe 1 or so. 3rd and 10.
Lyles back in at quarterback. North Dakota State bringing in James Kaiser. And it's dumped off. And room to run for Davis. Nice move in the open field, and he gets the first down across the 30 to the 31. Good blocking downfield by the receivers as well.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. Here's where Davis is the most dangerous out in open field. There you get a good block on Bridges, and then a whiff on one of the better tacklers as James Hendricks came up with nothing but air as he was able to get by James, pick up the first.
Big third down and long conversion for SIU. And now they're 4 of 6 on third down are the Salukis. Lyles out to Lenore, makes the catch. Destin Talbert. You know, in the coverage, Lenore able to slip out of that tackle as Tutsi finally forces him out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Let's pause for a quick message from Shields. Now the formation switches. Lyles darting out to the high side of your screen, and Williams in that wildcat again. Bison ready for it this time as they collapse down. 4 different tacklers coming in. And the first man there was Jackson Hankey once again.
Yeah, the tight end Garrett once again trying to lead that play, but the Bison really overwhelm him. They get 2 guys on the blocker immediately. 2 more guys take care of the runner. Nodak Insurance Company replay. There's the guy, Garrett, I'm talking about. Hendricks kind of closes him out. Then Hankey's able to make the tackle. But both of these offenses have done a good job of staying on the field and putting pressure on the opposing defense.
Cox in motion again. Oh, Bison read it. There was a man that got in there early, and that was Logan McCormick, and then other tacklers came in to finish him off. Derek Tuska, Jabril Cox, among others.
You're right, 93, Logan McCormick, the sophomore from Appleton, was the first guy in. He's going to come right at you. Nobody, well, too late to the block. The guard was trying to pull and get in front of him, and he didn't get there. And so that just blew the play up from the beginning. But these defensive ends for NDSU have very, very good speed, and McCormick's speed made the play.
3rd and 10 again here for SIU. Two and a half minutes to go until halftime. Lyles, design run. Mercadal got in there and brought him down after a gain of just a couple, and that was a design run, and that'll bring up 4th and 8.
You're right on the design run, Brian, but I think the Bison will say thank you. They want this kid running the ball. If SIU is going to put him into running situations on 3rd and long, NDSU will take it all day long. Mercadal makes the tackle, 8th on the team in tackles. He'll come off on this 4th down play. Salukis trying to take advantage of something they saw there in the quarterback run, but that's the guy right there, number 3, that the Bison would love to have run the ball all day long.
And Lyle's an interesting story. He started off at Wisconsin, redshirted there for a year, went to Scottsdale Community College, played there for a year, came in here, did not win the starting job. It was actually Stone Labanowitz who started the season as the SIU starter.
And then he injured his shoulder.
And since then, they've just kind of stuck with Lyles. It's been riding things so far. 1:39 to go until halftime. We step aside. (7-7), the 2 head coaches trading punches and doing some different things to try to keep the other defenses off balanced. 1:39 to go. Jack Cahoon on for the punt. First Australian to play for SIU since 1973. And Trevor Hite calls for the fair catch, and the ball did not go into the end zone, and good coverage on the play for SIU, and it's downed at the 1-yard line by Justin Strong, redshirt freshman safety. And NDSU backed up here with 1:30 to go.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. It goes over Hite's head. He does a good job of deking. But then here comes Strong. Remember, doesn't matter where the player is in college. It's where the ball is. with that rule of verticality on the end zone line. The ball does not break the plane. Ball's down at the 1.
Kickoff with the down ball. Places the ball at the Bison 1-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 going for Dakota
And
State.
they want to reset the play clock here as it was already down to 8, and now they will do that. Cofield in the eye with Malmstrom in front of him. Cofield, who he barely got out of the end zone. Coming from behind was Cody Kreider to take him down for no gain. Gate City Bank is proud to support the NDSU Bison. Show your Bison pride today with a free NDSU Gate City Bank debit card. Visit gatecity.bank/mycard. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC. And one of the big men for SIU is down on the turf. Keenan Agnew, the sophomore.
NDSU with 89 rushing yards. SIU with 86 to this point. Off of our super slow-mo replay, Cofield goes in, and there you can see these guys right here engaged. That's where the injury comes from. As you see Carson Schuning doing a good job of twisting the big man and getting him out of the play.
And give credit to this SIU defensive front. They've been tough to move today for NDSU. Bison averaging 306 rushing yards a game, and so far today just 89.
But just look at the excitement right now in that group and what they're doing, being tied this late in the half with the #1 team in the country. Almost picked up a safety in that last play, stopping the power, NDSU's bread and butter run.
Clock continues to run now. 1:05 to go. Give again goes to Cofield, trying to get outside, and he does. Cofield to the 10, and a big pickup there for Adam Cofield of 20 yards out to the 21.
Forced out of bounds by Quay Brown.
Quay Brown had to run a long way to track him down after this run from Cofield.
Well, Jonathan Thompson comes up in press coverage against Christian Watson, so that made it a much easier block for Watson, who was the wideout on the high side, to help clear the sidelines to allow Cofield to have time to get around it and get the ball on a 20-yard pickup.
Cofield 49 rushing yards after that gain of 20. Lance now to throw. He's going to swing it out. Ellefson over on the sideline makes the catch, taps down the feet, gets out of bounds, and picks up 6 yards.
Lance just didn't quite have enough time to wait long enough to get Kapuris open. Kapuris was running a drag or a crossing route much deeper than where Elson was along the sideline, but also, of course, you have to play the clock game as well.
2nd and 4 for the Bison from their own
NDSU, 3 timeouts remaining.
Here's the tail end of the catch on your Nodak Insurance Company replay. Elson knowing the situation, clean catch, stop the clock.
Lance to throw again. He's going to air it out deep. Watson was interfered with by Madre Harper, had his hands all over him, and that'll move the ball ahead to about the 42-yard line with 41 seconds to go, and it'll also stop the clock.
Pass interference is the call. Tail end of the Nodak Insurance Company replay, wraps both arms around him. Yes, he has his head turned, but he certainly has taken the body and taken Christian Watson's opportunity to catch the ball away. But if you're in that position that Harper was in, that's the much smarter play, though, too. Take the receiver out of it, take your 15-yard penalty, and play the next play.
Just the second penalty on SIU today. NDSU's been flagged for 4 penalties and 20 yards so far. And NDSU with 41 seconds and 3 timeouts, still plenty of time to try to get this ball downfield. Quarterback run for Lance. working off a tackle, and he'll just run out of bounds. Quay Brown forcing him out after a gain of just 3 yards.
Forced out of bounds by Quay Brown.
That was an interesting move by Harper there, too. He was with Phoenix Sproles, and Sproles went in motion. And as soon as the ball was snapped, Harper went on a corner blitz right at the quarterback, giving up any passing type of deals because they had the run, the read against the run correct.
Lance flushed, getting it out and completing it to Watson. Working on the corner, Jonathan Thompson, and getting out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Down by Jonathan Thompson.
Nodak Insurance Company replay as we watch this catch and the out here by Watson. I want to give an attaboy out there to Dylan Radens. He did a terrific job against the blitzing linebacker, No Tree. He was able to read that well, not get too caught up inside, trusting his guard Jensen to take the inside guy one-on-one and take care of the blitzer to allow the time to get the pass play completed.
2 in the backfield here. Ty Brooks and Kobe Johnson both in next to Lance. Lance under pressure, gets away again. Now he's going to take off and run. Got a good block from Brooks, and Lance looked like he was going to be taken out for a huge loss, and instead picks up 10 yards to the 30 and a timeout for NDSU with 20 seconds to go.
Well, so if you have the question, is how athletic is the NDSU quarterback? Well, here's your answer. Check out this replay. Everything he does, sets up the block, works through a tackle, and then squeezes the 1 extra yard he needs to get NDSU ahead and pick up a first down. Still all the timeouts, or 2 of the timeouts left in 20 seconds.
Let's go down to Ryan Gellner on the sidelines.
Guys, I talked to Griffin Crosa, the Bison kicker, before today's football game. He told me he'd like to be at 42 yards going to this end of the field. That means North Dakota State would need to get the ball to the 25-yard line to give him a chance. That's a First International Bank and Trust sideline report. Fellas?
All right, thank you, Ryan. And still time for maybe 3 plays here for NDSU. SIU has not been shy about bringing extra rushers.
Right now they're loading up the A-gaps.
Here they come. Lance running out of time, and down he goes again, back at the 35-yard line, and a timeout quickly called. And rushing in to get that sack was Keonta Stallworth, the senior out of Michigan.
Well, you can't hesitate. At this point, Lance, if the ball is still in his hands, he knows he's in trouble. Here comes Stallworth. It breaks down, and he goes down. I mean, if he can't get that ball out with that many people coming that quickly, it's going to be trouble for NDSU, and the Bison made it trouble.
This is a team in SIU that came into this game with 37 sacks, averaging 3.5 per game, which was 6th best in the FCS.
But when you talk about just Valley competition, just the Valley games, this Salukis team is #1 in sacks.
Second and 16. Lance has time. He's going to fire deep for Kapuris, and it is tipped away at the last second. Quay Brown was back there in coverage, and Kapuris was running one-on-one, and he just made a play on the ball at the last second.
Just the end of this play. Brown is beat, but he does get his hand in there, deflects it just a hair. Kapuris can't get it. He was the inside of the 3 receivers off to the quarterback's right side, and there's Quay Brown making the play. These 2 safeties are very good. Brown and Chin.
Just 8 seconds left, so whatever NDSU does will have to be quick. Lance firing on the out to Kapuris with 4 on the clock. And Kapuris scampers out of bounds at the 28-yard line with 3 seconds left, and now decision time for Matt Entz. This would be about a 46-yard attempt for Crosa. And the offense will stay on the field.
Use your last time out to talk about it.
As Ryan reported a moment ago, Crosa felt comfortable from 42 yards, and again, that's beyond this. And the career long for Crosa is 46, and that was a kick that bounced off the crossbar and through at Delaware back in September.
Shows you how big that sack was. That last sack that the Salukis were able to get to Lance on that play.
And barring a defensive penalty, this would be the final play of the first half.
I mean, the fact that the Salukis have been able to throw off Lance's timing is something that really nobody else has been able to do so far this year. Just 7 sacks allowed all season coming into this game.
And a timeout called by Nick Hill before the snap.
And coaches are out there talking to their safeties. I thought that to me it looked like you meaning the safeties of the Salukis were really playing Ben Elfson strong with the tight end just on this side, but I think the timeout came because Quay Brown wasn't in position where I think the Salukis wanted him. He was playing right up the hash. They wanted him more to the middle. That's my guess.
Well, in terms of ball control, Southern Illinois has had the ball 16 minutes. NDSU just a shade under 14. And last week against Western Illinois, the Salukis had the ball 41 minutes.
And after the first quarter, it was 9-5. So the Salukis have owned the time of possession in the second quarter.
Same formation for NDSU, Cofield in the backfield. And Lance is just going to air towards the end zone. Looking towards Kapuris. In the corner, did he get it? No! He's out of bounds. Oh boy, was that something to watch at the end there as Kapuris thought he had it in bounds, but the official right on top of it said no. Maybe this is something they review here.
This will be the review. 1 foot down.
Ooh, he's right on it.
That angle appears like that foot comes down on. If you hit any part of the white, you're out of bounds. We'll enhance it, we'll draw it, we'll pull it in on for you. That's Nodak Insurance Company replay. That looks incomplete.
And they will quickly review it. And I think we'll see the same thing we see. And that should be the end of this first half. Boy, NDSU that close to taking a 7-point lead going into the locker room.
Here's that super slow-mo from the opposite side. White foot on white line, incomplete.
Southern Illinois will have the football to start the second half. It's 7-7 as these two offenses will try to make some adjustments and get things rolling. It's been a slugfest, it's been physical, but it's also been a very fun football game here to wrap up this 2019 regular season. Stay tuned, the Pro Seed halftime report is coming up in just a moment. First, let's go down to Ryan Gellner, who is standing by with NDSU head coach Matt Entz.
Tough sledding offensively so far. They're good on defense.
Yeah, they're good. We said they were all week long. You know, you can't have a penalty when you're on the 20-yard line and you're 1st and 15 all of a sudden. We can control that. So we got to be better.
Defensively, their big running back caused you some problems. You kept them out of the end zone for the most part.
For the most part, we got to tackle better. We got to be better in the second half.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Guys.
That's simple. We step aside. Beth Hool, Alex Egan, Kyle Emanuel standing by for the Pro Seed halftime report. We'll see you back here in Carbondale in about 20 minutes as these two Missouri Valley teams are getting after each other here today.
Yes, they are.
In the early 1950s, the Saluki was chosen as the mascot at Southern Illinois, and the first mascot was King Tutton. He's still is entombed out here outside of Salukis Stadium. Good first half of football. 7 of 7 is your score. Let's go down to Ryan Gellner, who's standing by with Nick Hill.
Coach, really good first half of football. I assume you're pleased to have them tied right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, we knew it was going to be back and forth. We got a good defense. We got a good football team. And that's what I told our guys. We got in there at halftime. They expected to be in this game. I think that this second half is going to come down to what we did right there. Take care of the football. We're going to have to hit some plays on offense, but keep making them earn it. That's the biggest thing. They hit the big one for a touchdown, but when you see that, when you give yourself a chance, you got to make them keep snapping it. Trey's so good, you know, on those third downs, you get him in 3rd and long, and you still don't feel good, you know, but he's a heck of a player. I think there's a lot of good football players out there on the field, and it'll be a good second half.
It's going to be a really good finish. Appreciate the time. Good luck the second half.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thanks for the time. Coach Hill did say this week this may be the biggest game in the history of Salukis Stadium in its 10-year history. He also went on to say, we feel we are one of the 24 best teams, and we deserve to be in the playoffs. And certainly the Salukis played and looked like a playoff team in the first 2 quarters.
Like they do in a lot of stadiums, they'll have the home radio and speakers throughout. When I was walking down the hall, I heard Mike Reese say that the Salukis were halfway to what he called their 5th biggest win in program history. So that's how much today means to SIU.
And Southern Illinois will have the football here first. The Salukis deferred after winning the coin toss. And NDSU having to make some adjustments. Matt Entz saying we have to tackle better in this second half. And Javon Williams, 13 carries, 66 yards, including the 28-yard touchdown run.
Of course, the Bison hit the big one in that first quarter and on the running play, but 117 total yards for NDSU in that first quarter. And then in the second quarter, that 70 rushing yards that SIU was able to control the clock on made a big difference.
In terms of total plays, SIU ran 28 for 131, NDSU 34 for 211, and the Bison had a chance to put some points on the board late in that half. A drive that started at their own 1-yard line, and Adam Cofield long run of 20 yards got him out to the 21, and an opportunity at least there.
What, inch and a half, 2 inches to a touchdown on that last play. Pretty close.
Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. Avante Cox calls for the fair catch at his own 5. And Corey Lyles has been in and out at quarterback, flipping with Javon Williams. So far in the first half, 4 of 5. Did have the interception to Hendricks. But again, SIU not a team that's going to throw the ball a ton anyway, and with the running game the way it was working, you'd have to think you're going to see more of the run game again here in the second half.
Oh yeah, and we'll see a lot more of Javon Williams as well.
DJ Davis really did not get going in that first half. 8 carries for 12 yards. He's the setback here on 1st and 10. Around a man and then taken down by Tutsi and Henke after a gain of 2.
Interesting look because that man he ran around was number 14, Josh Hayes, the cornerback. He was right tight to the formation and went on a corner blitz. Even with the jet motion to his side, he didn't bail on that. They left it to the safety and kept the run fit in with Josh Hayes.
And now Williams in at quarterback as Lyles heads to the top side of your screen here on 2nd and 7. Running right up the middle, and good hold this time, and Williams is still going. Derek Tuska couldn't get him. Henke finally takes him down at the 43-yard line.
Size, speed, and strength. An awesome combination if you're running the football. Nodak Insurance Company replay. And here comes number 15 right at you, the redshirt freshman. And then Lyles will throw a block at the end right here on the top of the screen on Bridges. So there's your quarterback working downfield. So he stays in the play even though he goes a Wildcat. But now he's back in. Williams is on the sidelines. And Lyles is back in underneath center.
Big play here for SIU. Davis trying to finish that run and gains just a couple of yards. And there's the look. at the numbers for Williams, who's over 1,000 yards now on the season.
That one touchdown adds to his total of 17 on the ground rushing.
Avante Cox gets the carry. Gets around the edge and steps out of bounds at the 28-yard line. The first time we've seen the give on the jet sweep to Cox, the transfer from Wyoming, maybe one of the speediest guys on the team next to Davis, and that moves the chains again.
Pretty nice change of pace here just to try to get that Bison defense to slide side to side because so much pressure has been coming up the middle. He's able to catch the corner. Cox leads the team in touchdown receptions with 5, but there he picks up that first on the run.
And Williams back in at quarterback. Gain of a couple to the 26.
And Koshner Ching did a decent job there, just holding his ground and not allowing the bounce to the outside.
And Matt Entz hoping his defense can at least stop the momentum here to force a field goal attempt, if nothing else. Give on the outside again to Cox. This time the Bison ready for it. A flag comes in as Tutsi came in to wrap up Cox for a loss of a yard, and then there was again flag coming in, and this might be a hold on the Salukis, and it is.
I believe it was on the guy trying to block Aaron Mercadal.
Jacob Garrett, the fullback.
Holding, offense, number 13, 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
They're actually going to get the other tight end for the hold, and that is Nigel Kilby.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. There's the guy that I was talking about who is guarding Mercadal, and that was Kirby. Got a little hook on Merck.
So Matt Entz decides to back up the Salukis the 10 yards and bring up 2nd and 18.
Here comes Williams trotting in from the sideline again. Wildcat.
And he breaks free again. Good gain. As he was patiently waiting, and that gets the ball down inside the 30 to the 26.
What he's waiting for is to see what Shimoleski is able to do on the outside, and he was able to stay with that block enough to open up the perimeter, I think, on McCormick.
Buying, building, or refinancing. Start with a free immediate pre-approval from Great City Bank and experience a better home loan. Get started today at gatecity.bank for a better way of life. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Well, Williams coming out here on 3rd and 8. Lyles has made some big throws on 3rd down, also picked up a 3rd down conversion running the football. Flushed and just going to throw it away.
Not a receiver within 15 yards of where the ball went, but as soon as he's able to flush out of the pocket, you can get rid of it.
So that'll bring up 4th down. And here comes Nico Gualdoni trying to give SIU the lead. Well, spotted from about 44 yards.
Wind has gone down, judging by the flags.
Gualdoni did hit a 45-yarder last week against Western Illinois, his season long. It's down, it is up, and it is wide to the left, no good.
Well, it took until inside the 20, but the Bison defense did get the Salukis off the field.
And again, Gualdoni filling in for Griffin Sierra, who's been lightly kicking this week. trying to get back after coming back from injury, but Gualdoni's been the guy, and until that miss had made 5 of 6. So now Trey Lance will get the Bison offense onto the field for the first time.
Delaware eye.
Not much room initially, then Cofield taken down from behind by Anthony Knighton, and he lost a yard.
Yeah, Knighton has started every game he's played at SIU. He's in his 11th start this year. One of the all-time leaders, too, in sacks. He just kind of comes in from the right side of your screen, closing down the play once Cofield's momentum was stopped. There's that non-production on first down again.
Ground game again. Cofield a little stutter step. And the pile pushing ahead as he's able to gain 5 yards, 4 yards, up to the 29.
I don't think we mentioned today that Babbage is not playing today, so one of the top pass catching options for NDSU is not available today.
Dealing with a lower leg injury sustained last week against South Dakota. Cole Karch also not available today for NDSU on the defensive line. Lance has some time to survey, dumping it off to Watson. Eluding one man and then falling ahead. And a good strong finish to that run for Watson, and a big third down pickup for NDSU, gain of 10.
Out of that bunch formation to the high side, Watson is the motion man, and then he stays on the inside. Nodak Insurance Company replay, low angle. There's Christian, comes into your screen. He sets down in that open zone, and at this point he starts going to the side, and then he realizes, hey, I'm at the first down marker. I need a couple of tough yards here to give NDSU a fresh set of downs.
Give goes inside, and not a lot of room, a yard, and that's about it for North Dakota State as Kobe Johnson has his first carry of the second half. Let's pause for a quick message from the Bank of North Dakota.
My plan was to get a degree in engineering, and with the help of a student loan from Bank of North Dakota, I did. If you want to build something solid, you need a plan.
Bank of North Dakota, helping you achieve more.
Southern Illinois really trying to take away the inside run for North Dakota State. Bison going back to it again. Room this time as Johnson stays on his feet. Still moving the feet as Harper holds on for dear life and finally whistled down at the 37-yard line.
Well, you just keep banging and banging and banging, and then all of a sudden it opens up. It's a power. You see Jensen with the pull. Johnson's able to slide through there, and then here, look at the centers downfield. You have Cody Mauk downfield. You have Dylan Radens downfield, and the big guys getting downfield to help move the pile at the end of this. Here's Brown working against Zach Mathis. He's taken out of the play. And what I like is Johnson has both hands around the football at this point. So Bison pick up the first down on the ground.
Back to the middle again. Cofield trying to find a little crease in there. And he's taken down after a 2-yard gain to the 35.
Weak side linebacker Cody Kreider helping run the play down from behind. Kreider's had 3 knee surgeries in his career.
Kreider, young man that was a finalist for Mr. Football in the state of Kentucky back in 2014. Second leading tackler, having a very productive senior season.
That's Cody, number 29 right there. Second on the team in tackles coming into this game.
Into Delta. Lance is going to keep it up the middle. Look at Trey Lance have a big burst and then dragged down by Chin after a first down run to the 22.
Well, you saw Lance make a play fake, but he wasn't handing that ball off at all. It's a designed quarterback power. Check out the pulling guard. Here he comes right at you. It's Johnson. Didn't have much to block, but he does get in a block. Right down the hash mark, coming right at you on the designed quarterback run. So the Bison on their last 2 first downs first down plays have come up with really good first down yardage.
See Hunter Lukey now motioning into the slot area, and it's a toss. Brooks working behind his blocks and throwing down his shoulder.
Flag. Flag thrown by the umpire. Nodak Insurance Company replay. This will come right at you. It's an FIB, a formation into the boundary with Lupke motioning in to get an extra blocker.
Wouldn't you like to be Madre Harper with Dylan Radins running at you full speed?
Personal foul. Below the waist. Offense, number 68. That 15-yard penalty be from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
And that'll cost the Bison a bunch. One thing Matt Entz said, we can't get behind the chains on first down, and now the Bison are there as the ball will get moved back a lot.
Top of the screen. You saw he didn't hit him. He attempted to. He didn't get much of the, but Johnson was diving at the legs, below the knees, downfield.
So it'll be 1st and 21 now from the 33. Play action for Lance. Flipping it out. Catch made by Noah Gindorf, and another flag comes in at the 18-yard line.
It was in the area where Cole Jacob was trying to make a block, but maybe the defense was holding up Jacob. High side of the field, right about the 20.
Looks like it's going to go on Thompson, potentially. We'll see. And that's a big penalty because I believe that's an automatic first down.
Should be. But Thompson kind of forced into his role as the starting cornerback after the injury to Trey Strong. And here's your isolation.
Defense.
There's the jersey
22.
tug, the hold.
10-yard penalty is from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And it doesn't have to be much, but when these officials, they're looking, you know, you can tell if you have your jersey on sitting on your shoulder pads the right way, and when it rolls off of it, something caused your number to move off the top of your shoulder pads, and in this case it was a hold.
So that'll move the ball down to the 23 as Matt Gallagher heads over to talk to Matt Entz. It was a 9-yard pickup for Gindorf.
Down since the ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage. Still a 10-yard penalty.
I don't know if you picked up on that as we're looking at the replay, but the official did say that since the ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage, it was not an automatic first down. So that's why Coach Entz had to have a number of options. So he elects to take the penalty and you replay the first down.
Essentially, we're close to where Bison would have had the ball on a first down
before
anyway,
Johnson's
right?
penalty, yeah.
Yeah. Thrown out to Phoenix Sproles in stride, working off a Watson block, and Sproles stays on his feet. Good strong finish, and then taken down at the 8-yard line.
Boy, this Watson block is key because it comes against Chin. Right there on the left side of your screen on the Nodak Insurance Company replay. He takes Chin's momentum away from the play, allows Sproles to go one-on-one and help get it inside the 10.
So 1st and goal at the 8.
And the Bison have overcome the 15-yard penalty to get to this stage.
Cofield gets the carry, following blocks, trying to finish the run into the end zone. Touchdown!
And Cofield in for a Bison touchdown.
North Dakota State is one of the best in the country at finishing in the red zone. And here it finishes with a touchdown. The Bison coming into this game had 34 red zone touchdowns at a 71% mark. And here on the Nodak Insurance Company replay comes right at you. Who was that? That was a beautiful block there by Noah Gindorf to take care of the edge, blew a man open, and Cofield finishes in the end zone, and the Bison grab the lead.
And Phoenix Sproles providing a little help at the end there as well towards the goal line as Adam Cofield takes it in from 8 yards out. His 11th touchdown of the season, 18th of his career. And NDSU has the lead back, 14-7 on the Egg Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard.
Man, this game is physical.
Woo. Adam Cofield, 8-yard touchdown run as North Dakota State overcomes a 15-yard penalty and able to get into the end zone. 10 plays, 74 yards, and 5.5 minutes on the Bobcats scoring recap. All set up off the miss from Gualdoni's field goal attempts.
Touchdown number 11 for Cofield, breaks the tie.
Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. Cox going to return this one. And Tutsi Dawson-Weber combining to make that tackle. Pretty good return for Cox up to the 28-yard line. We step aside. 5:10 to go. Southern Illinois with the football, trailing by 7 on the Egg Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. Time now for the Gate City Bank Fan Cam. Send us your home or watch party pics to fancamyourcam.com, and we'll show those in the fourth quarter. That is fancamyourcam.com. And oh, Bison fans travel, and they have a great time. Lyles on first down, out to Cox, who makes the reception up to the 45, and a gain of 17 for SIU.
And we saw the kids on that shot playing on the berm as well. My dad always told me, if we're going to the game, we're watching the game. If you want to play the game, we'll stay at home. Maybe that's why I got to learn to love watching sports so much.
Davis had a crease for a moment. James Kaiser coming in to make the tackle, but still a gain of 5 on first down in midfield.
Well, that pass play, the play before was on a play action. I still have an opportunity, or I still think somewhere Javon Williams is throwing a pass in this game today, but of course the Bison and this run and this very good Salukis run have to honor any play fake.
Fade pattern out to Lenore, who is battling there and jostling with Destin Talbert down the sideline. Will bring up 3rd and 5. Should mention too, Lucas Davis started today at right tackle. He's done a pretty good job for Southern Illinois. Bo Brannion, the starter, is a guy that was dinged up against Western Illinois. So was Ernest Dye Jr., but Dye able to go today, and Brannion was not.
Yeah, Brannion dealing with an ankle. Dye's knee has been hurting him. Ernest Dye coming from a football family as well. His dad played in the NFL.
There goes Lyles. Will split out now with Williams in the Wildcat again. And nowhere to go as Tutsi flew in. And a host of Bison tacklers, Spencer Wagey, Matt Beegler among others. No gain, and will bring up 4th down.
The interesting thing I picked up there is that all day long, Jacob Garrett has been kind of the lead blocker from his tight end position. And here he comes in here, but kind of stops on the play, or the penetration from Tuska on the outside takes the path away from where the quarterback or the Wildcat running back wanted to go, and the Bison using some speed against that power runner.
And that'll bring out Cahoon again for his 2nd punt of the day. Try to pin the Bison deep. Cahoon, end over end. Trevor Height calls for the fair catch at the 19-yard line, and North Dakota State comes up with a stop, and the Bison have the football back, leading by 7, 3:26 to go here in the 3rd quarter. (14-7) North Dakota State, 3:26 to go. Trey Lance's numbers, sponsored by the North Dakota Beef Commission, funded by beef farmers and ranchers. And again, not much room up the middle. First down has been tricky as we take a look at Lance, 10 of 18 for 121 yards. Was sacked twice, also has 9 carries for 23 yards. Cofield did gain a yard on that run.
I know there's been plays like that with not much success, and all of a sudden, you know, here comes a power play and Kobe Johnson comes flying through. So the Bison have been able to get some real good production up front or in the middle.
Give outside to Phoenix Sproles. He was turned back inside and gained a yard as Thompson throws him out of bounds at the 21.
Elfson and Notree going at it pretty good, and I think it was Notree that was able to keep that play from turning up. He just kept the sliding to the outside.
It's not the 21, it's the 16-yard line where North Dakota State has the football, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Elfson was trying to get a pin on him and couldn't do it.
Again, Notree has not played since the opening week of the season.
Playing well today.
Here comes SIU. Lance hanging in there, firing on the run, and he makes the throw and the catch to Kapuris, who has been huge in the clutch here on 3rd down today.
I love the pre-snap motion by taking Elfson and putting him into the boundary. That makes Chin the single high safety, so there is no safety help to the quarterback's left, which means that nobody else is coming in there. More space for Kapuris to work, knowing that he will not get a double. One-on-one situation, pre-snap movement helps open up the play to the other side of the field.
6 receptions, 80 yards for Jimmy Kapuris today. Quick throw goes out to Watson. Trying to get around Thompson, and Watson, good burst around the outside and picks up 8 yards on the play. Experience a better home loan with Gate City Bank. Whether you're buying, building, or refinancing, Gate City Bank provides locally approved, financed, and serviced home loans. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, with Chin closing down, Watson got a little bit more than I thought. Was able to pick up 9 yards on that play, showing that good burst to the outside.
NDSU motioning into the eye. And the inside give. And that's Kobe Johnson, able to pick his way up to the 40 for a gain of 4 and a 1st down.
Well, he's popped that for a long touchdown run, but that's that power play, and Johnson so far has been the best at running that power today, as we inside of a minute to go in the 3rd.
Jeremy Chin coming up again. He's been a busy guy today for SIU. Play action for Lance. Dumping it off to Lupke, who makes the sliding catch at the 45-yard line. And enough for a 5-yard gain.
It was a completion, but Lance will be upset at himself on this particular play, because if he gives Lupke a catchable ball or a more catchable ball, he's able to probably pick up the 1st down. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Off to the right, Lupke slips out past the linebacker, and you see that space on the top of the screen there. Lupke would have some room to run for maybe another 10 yards if that was a catch higher than it was.
That'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. North Dakota State grabbing the lead 14-7 behind an Adam Cofield 8-yard touchdown run. The Bison will have 2nd and 5 at their own 45 when we come back. (14-7) North Dakota State. Final 15 on the clock here at Salukis Stadium in Carbondale. NDSU 2nd and 5 from the 45. Back to the ground. Brooks, his 4th carry of the day, as he quickly squeaks through a little crease, picks up 7 yards, and he's inside SIU territory. And that'll move the chains.
Well, one of the reasons you think that there would be yards on that side is just Cody Malk is back in there wearing his tight end jersey, but remember, he is also a tackle. So basically it's a guard, tackle, tackle, tight end on the left side of that formation on that play.
Give inside again. Not as much room this time as
Parsons was right there.
Yeah, he slammed down Ty Brooks to the turf after a gain of a couple.
Where this Saluki defense does have solid depth is in that defensive line. And we've seen it today. There's Parsons making the play.
There's a look at Raquan Lindsay. He has got in today. Elijah Watson, Chucky Sullivan playing behind Agnew, Haynes, Burner, and Knighton. Solid group up front for the Salukis, and they've held up today. And that doesn't even include Stallworth, who is a backup, and he's gotten a lot of reps. Cofield, Lupke, and Johnson here in the Delta with Lance. This time they'll give it to Lupke. Got a good block and put his shoulder down, and he's going to be close to a first down, about a yard short to the 38-yard line. Getting more and more involved in the offense throughout the season, getting more and more touches with the ball in his hands.
Well, Hunter weighs about 250 pounds, and maybe that's what the SIU scout defense knows when they have Williams running at him all the time, putting a big guy out there. Yeah, he's very athletic, the redshirt freshman from Spencer, Wisconsin. He's rushing for a touchdown. He caught a touchdown. Now Malmstrom's back in there at fullback.
NDSU with everybody tight at the line here on 3rd and short. Cofield. Good second effort there at the end to get to the 37 and across the 37, and I think he has enough for a first down.
Well, he hasn't played a lot of plays, and he's coming off right now, but I tell you, 88 right now, made another big block there. Cody Mauk, he was on the right side of that particular play as the Bison pick up the first down. There's Cody. Oops, see, Mauk is able to squeeze that guy all the way through, get him past the play, take one guy away. But Cody wears 2 numbers at times. He's had his tight end number on today and doing some work on the outside of that formation.
Back to the ground game again for Cofield. And again, SIU plugging things up in the middle as Notri got in there to make the initial stop, and then Kreider also helped out, gain of 3.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that the Notri broke his foot in that game against SEMO early, missed some time, and now he's obviously feeling pretty good.
This will already be the 12th play of this drive for North Dakota State. Quarterback's going to keep it, and Lance is going to fire out and behind his intended target, Gindorf. Coverage on the play from Quay Brown, and that'll bring up 3rd down and about 7 yards. Gate City Bank is proud to support the NDSU Bison. Show your Bison pride today with a free NDSU Gate City Bank debit card. Visit gatecity.bank/mycard. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC. Another big 3rd down for North Dakota State. The Bison 7 of 11 today, and a lot of them have been 3rd and 6 plus.
Salukis' defensive backs were all over the Bison receivers. Lance tried to squeeze one in there to Gindorf, but it was well defended.
Watson the motion man. Lance is going to keep it here on 3rd down. Lance has a first down, and Trey Lance is broken free. 35 yards, touchdown.
The Bison have really shortened this second half by keeping that offense on, and now a big play. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Well, remember when we talked about Williams running the ball? I said there's size, speed, and strength, and here we're seeing the same thing out of number 5, Trey Lance. Lance able to get in the end zone, put the Bison up by 2 scores, and Lance with his 10th rushing touchdown of the year, and a big one here today in Carbondale.
Crosa adds the extra point, and North Dakota State has a 2-touchdown lead with 11:36 to go. The Bison putting together a meat grinder. 86-yard drive in 13 plays as Trey Lance is in from 34, and the Bison have a 2-touchdown lead.
It's difficult to have a long run up the middle without taking care of a safety, and Zach Johnson does it right here. That's the man we're looking at as this play rolls. Watch Johnson get downfield, take care of Brown, and it's the last key block to get Trey Lance into the end zone. Off he goes, 68. Nice work there by Zach Johnson to get downfield and spring his quarterback.
We also saw Keenan Agnew overrunning the play from the outside, and that really opened things up. Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planting season with Peterson Farm Seed. Cox waits for his own 7. Finding a lane up the middle, and a flag comes in as Cox is still going to the 35, but this is likely coming back. Trey Fort hobbling over to the sideline.
Yeah, Trey's getting up slow on this one. I think he's the guy that the penalty was not on him, but against him.
And that'll back up SIU inside their own 10-yard line.
During the return, legal block in the back, return team, number 43. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Southern Illinois keeps the football. First down.
Jacob Carrot, tight end fullback. We've seen in a lot today. And Southern Illinois will have to go a long way here. 11:28 to go in the football game, starting this drive at its own 9.
Well, now the two-score situation, how much patience can you have in the Wildcat situation, even though we have seen Williams break, a long run from that Wildcat spot. He's out there right now, but Coach Hill's team can't afford to have really, really long drives.
He's going to throw it. Now he's probably going to run it. Trying to spin away from Jabril Cox, and he lost a couple yards. Let's go down to Ryan Gellner.
Guys, you saw Trey Fort come to the sideline. Another Bison cornerback, Josh Hayes, is out for the game with a head injury. He will not return. Trey Fort down on the ground for about a minute. He jumped back onto his feet, and they're calling for him to head back into the football game right now. Trey Fort heading back onto the field as we speak. Guys, it's a First International Bank and Trust sideline report.
Dustin Talbert also
Talbert
forced
on the bottom doing a lot of that work that Hayes was.
Lyles will throw. Fires a long throw on the out. And Bonansinga was the intended target, and it was just out of his reach, and will bring up 3rd and long.
Well, field position often dictates at times what you're going to do defensively. And here the Bison dropping back in a deep zone, kind of quarters coverage it looked like to me. Deep zone, Talbert's playing. And then the incomplete pass as it was thrown too far wide.
Boy, this is a big 3rd down here for SIU. Cannot afford to give NDSU the football back with good field position. Lyles flushed. Derek Tuska got in there and got the sack back at the 4. And with that sack, he passes Cole Jurek for 7th all-time in NDSU history.
Well, it's not an accident that Tuska is in the top 10 in sacks just this year, let alone the all-time stuff you're talking about there, Brian. But here's the senior from Warner, South Dakota, coming from the bottom of your screen, working across the formation on a little X pattern, works on the tackle.
Boy, what a punt there from Cahoon. Trevor Height had to retreat all the way to his 45-yard line. Does have some room to maneuver here. Height down to the 35, and NDSU will have really good field position with a 2-touchdown lead and 9:54 to go.
Beautiful job by Height to make that catch to save all that field position.
We step aside. The Bison will have the football in a short field when we return to Salukis Stadium. First and 10, North Dakota State from the 35-yard line. We're under 10 minutes to go here in the regular season finale on the KVLY KFYR Bison Network. Brooks bouncing it out. Tracked down from behind, but is a good, strong finish to that run for Ty Brooks, and he gained 9 yards. Let's take a look now at the Gate City Bank fan cam. Thanks to all of you who sent us your home and watch party pics wherever you are watching today. Looks a lot nicer there.
It does.
Montana, Tennessee. Thanks to all who have submitted their home and watch party pics all season long on the Gate City Bank fan cam. Second and short for NDSU. Malmstrom, Lupke both in the backfield here. And Cofield gets the carry. And Cofield has a first down across the 25 down to the 24. And every first down takes a couple of more minutes off the clock.
Yeah, that muscle that wasn't working in the first half, or especially the second quarter of the first half, is really starting to work now. That was just an absolute all-power formation. You have 2 tight ends, you got a power eye right, and with a couple of guards in there working off the center. Muscle football that in the end usually leads to an NDSU victory.
Southern Illinois here in the second half, LT, just 75 yards of total offense. NDSU has really taken the air out of the ball with all these long drives. Play action for Lance. Fires. And Harper, really good coverage on Cole Jacob that time.
It was, but did you see where the ball went, though? It was high into the outside, so Lance was like, maybe I'll give Jacob an opportunity to make a great catch, but if he doesn't, I know the Salukis will not get an opportunity to intercept it.
And SIU has done a good job taking away the tight ends. Both Giendorf and Ellefson were running down the far side of the field and were covered well. Kobe Johnson is tiptoeing ahead for a couple down to the 22, and that'll bring up 3rd and long. Another 3rd down situation, and North Dakota State has just done so well all day. 8 of 12 today. And Kapuras has been the money man on most of these. He's not in the game right now. Going to give it to Johnson on the outside, and Johnson walloped at the 20-yard line. Chin, like a freight train coming in. And Kobe a little bit slow getting up.
Wow, he really broke to the ball. That's why the NFL's interested in this kid. Look at how fast he got to that point of attack.
And Johnson helped off, and that will bring on Griffin Crosa for what will look like about a 39-yard attempt from the left hash. Wegner, the holder.
Kenley snaps.
Not much wind right now for Crosa. It's down, and it is blocked.
No, bobbled. The snap was low, and Wagner just ate it.
So a turnover for North Dakota State, but at least did not give an opportunity for SIU to return the football. 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, you minimize the mistake here. The snap, well, he didn't catch it clean. And then Wagner just decides we'll stay here, not allow SIU to do anything in terms of a special teams touchdown. So the holder made the mistake, and then he covered up for his mistake, and it didn't compound it, I should say.
As SIU starts this drive, let's go down to Ryan Geller on the sidelines with a guy that played some defense at NDSU that's from this area, Pierre G. Tucker.
Yeah, guys, and Pierre G. Tucker is back watching the Bison. He lives in St. Louis, not too far away. PGT, how you doing?
Good, man. I'm good. I can't complain.
What's it like coming back, being able to watch some of your former teammates now and some of your brothers that wear the green and gold?
Oh, I love it. I love coming back, hanging out with my guys. I still talk to a lot of them, too. We in a bunch of group messages together, but it's always great seeing and being around the family.
You are done with football, you told me. Another knee injury.
Unfortunately, yep. I tore my knee again. My meniscus, I did that in July, had surgery. As I was prepping for the XFL, I was invited for the workout and tore it, doing some flag football stuff to stay in shape, and ended for me, but, you know, I just switched my focus to a few other things now.
Yeah, you told me you're financial advising now, so you're on your feet and doing well.
Oh, yeah. I've actually been in the financial advising business for about 2 years now, but me not playing football, now I can put more of my focus towards it. So I've been doing that for a little while. Actually, I'm with a private firm now, Harris Financial Solutions. So basically work with everything from investments, retirement, life insurance, health insurance, basically all the above.
In our conversations, you told me about how football prepared you for that side of life, and it's fun to watch now as you get to professional develop and do all those things.
I would say definitely yes, just because as an athlete, we're taught to work hard, go through adversity, a lot of things like that. And as a financial advisor, everything's on yourself. Basically it's all commission. And so, you have to grind through. It's going to be some downs and it's going to be some ups. But I would say football and then in sports in general, athletes excel in this industry just because, they've been through it from another standpoint.
Fun to catch up, fun to see you. Glad things are going so well. We love this jacket, man.
Thank you, man.
Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Ryan. And Williams, a stiff arm. on Jabril Cox, and then Jackson Hankey taking down Williams after a gain of 5. SIU able to get a first down and get up to the Bison 45 here as we tick down towards 5 minutes to go.
His last couple of runs, it looked like Williams has tried so much to put punish onto the first guy with those stiff arms. He's slowing himself down and allowing the defense to catch up and get multiple guys on top of him.
Lyles now back into the game at quarterback as Williams heads to the sideline. Davis has not got many carries, and he's broken free here. Davis, a big run for SIU down to the 20-yard line. Destin Talbert and James Hendricks with the stop for NDSU.
The senior with over 5,000 all-purpose yards in his career pops one. Here the seam just opens up. Tutsi just a little bit, no, it wasn't Tutsi. Gazer just a little bit out of position.
Davis the call again, and more room up the middle. And a gain of 15 yards. And it's first and goal, and just like that, the Salukis are knocking on the doorstep.
Well, you think that the Salukis have to try some stuff through the air. No, their back-to-back big plays have come on the ground, and they're right down to the 5.
Now Davis is over 1,000 yards, and this is the first time in program history SIU has had 2 players over 1,000 yards in the same season.
It might sound weird to say that when you've had all the success that NDSU, and if you follow the Bison with those 2 backs and Dunn and Anderson getting all their yards, but yeah, first time ever here for SIU.
Williams again puts on the brakes. Bison close in on him, and it's a gain of 1 to the 4.
Well, you hear the term keep the cup, don't allow the bounce on the outside. Michael Tutsi did just that. He forced Williams to have to stay inside. That's where the help comes from. He maybe picked up 1 or half a yard or so.
Southern Illinois has all 3 timeouts, but the time is really ticking down here. 3.5 minutes.
That's why that last tackle might not, 1 yard from the NDSU, but there goes another 25, 30 seconds off the clock.
Well, Williams will motion out. And Lyles is going to take off and run. And he's brought down 2 yards short. Maybe got to the 1 was where they're going to mark him in 3rd and goal coming up.
Again, that clock keeps working as Lane Tucker is able just to grab one of the legs of the quarterback and bring him down. There's Lane.
SIU going quickly. Trying to get in, and Hendricks came in and flew through there and took him down. No gain in 4th and goal coming up.
Salukis tried to go tempo, didn't work. The Bison got lined up right. And then number 6, there's just slamming through there from his safety position. Hendricks to force this 4th down.
And now both teams will change some personnel here, and this is just whittling the clock down. 2.5 minutes.
Well, this decision is taking a long time.
And it's a big play, obviously, on 4th down, but they got to go in a hurry. Play clock, still plenty of time, 20 seconds, but the game clock down to 2:20.
And now Coach Hill has to call a timeout after he just blew how much time trying to get everything lined up. If you're going to take the timeout on 4th down, well, you have to do it earlier than that.
Buying, building, or refinancing. Start with a free immediate pre-approval from Gate City Bank and experience a better home loan. Get started today at gatecity.bank for a better way of life. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
James Hendricks comes flying through on that last play on that 3rd down to force the 4th and short. Here comes the big pile. Hendricks will fly right in there, squares up the quarterback, and takes him out. Every time Lyles runs the ball, I sit there and think, why in the world is Javon Williams not the one touching it?
Because he was in the game lined up at tailback.
He was right there. I know you don't want to hand it off, but if not, put him underneath center.
And now the Salukis will have an interesting decision if they do get the touchdown. Do they boot it away or do they go with an onside kick? Williams in.
That Wildcat.
Davis and the tight end Kilby are the 2 split out here on the bottom side of your screen. 4th and goal for the Salukis. Williams is going to run. Williams towards the goal line. Did he get in? No, he's held short.
The Bison hold on 4th down with your top big man running the ball. And NDSU keeps the Salukis out of the end zone. Nodak Insurance Company replay off to the right. Working off a block. And then second guy, and that's Hendricks again. The guy recruited as a quarterback who's made his living as a safety, and James Hendricks once again comes in here at the goal line.
No, I don't think that ball ever
No.
got across the goal line.
No, that's a good shot, guys, and this will be the one that they're looking at in the booth once again. Did the ball break the plane? No, it doesn't. And Hendricks starts on the right side of the formation. Look at him flow, and then he squares up. And the twist, that is, who's on the bottom there?
I think
Somebody
it's
has
Jackson
a leg.
Hankey.
Hankey, 52. Oh, what a job by this NDSU defense to keep the Salukis out of the end zone.
2:13 to go. We step aside as they take a look at things once again, but from our advantage point, it's first down and 10, North Dakota State from the half-yard line. James Hendricks, a couple of big stops.
And Jackson Hankey sitting right behind him. Put those two guys in the square box. They made the big play. Look at how far Hendricks goes to come across the formation and get in on this tackle. Hankey will come and get on the legs right there, and then Hendricks squares him up. He loses his footing a little bit, and then the spin down as the Bison hold on fourth down. Two really big tackles by James Hendricks, the free safety.
So now NDSU backed up inside its own one. And Cofield, a big pickup on first down. He's going to be close to a first down, about a yard short. Cody Kreider making the stop for SIU.
What a terrific job this NDSU offensive line has done in the second half, huh?
North Dakota State now over 250 rushing yards. The Bison approaching the 400-yard mark for total offense. And give credit to SIU. They've hung in there and make it tough. NDSU's had to earn everything they've got today. Cofield has the first down, keeps the feet moving. Thompson finally able to finish off the tackle as the ball is run up to the 17, and a timeout for SIU. That is the second taken for the Salukis, 1:24 to go. And with that first down, NDSU can pretty much run it down, even with one more timeout left for Southern Illinois. Not a lot of time remains.
Bison offense with ball control in that second half, and the Bison defense not allowing points in that second half.
Well, this Southern Illinois team came in riding some momentum. Winners of 5 straight. And we're not on the committee, but just the eye test of what we've seen, this is one of the 24 best teams in the country. There's no question in my mind.
Yeah, they passed.
And I'll tell you what's scary is the fact that Javon Williams Jr. is just a freshman. Ay, ay, ay.
That's exactly what everybody has been saying about Trey Lance, too. This kid is only a freshman.
And you're probably looking at the number 1 and number 2 finishers for the Peyton Award, possibly. Or excuse me, is it the Rice Award?
Rice
Award for top freshman.
Yeah.
I mean, Williams has to be in that discussion too. There's no question.
I would think so. He's got, before today started, he had the Valley record for most touchdowns scored by a freshman, 16 rushing and 2 receiving. I mean, if you add the passes, obviously Trey has more than that, but getting yourself in the end zone, nobody's done it better in the conference as a rookie than Williams. Of course, we've witnessed all year long how special a year Trey Lance has had, and he's going through the entire regular season without throwing an interception.
That's just unbelievable to think, isn't it? 12-game schedule. And NDSU will get into victory formation one more time here, or 2 more times. SIU is out of timeouts. Lance will take 1 knee. And the Bison should be able to take it down to about the 40-second mark, and that should do it. Pretty close.
Need to snap it one more time.
After the touchdown in the second quarter to tie things up, SIU shut out here in the second half. Had a golden opportunity just a moment ago on the goal line. 2 cracks from 3rd and 1 and unable to punch it in.
A couple of cracks from James Hendricks keeping him out of the end zone.
Lance will take the snap, take a knee, and North Dakota State has tied its own FCS record with its 33rd straight win as a program, and the Bison finished the regular season 12-0.
How am I supposed to add to that? You can't.
You
Awesome.
lose 15 starters.
24
seniors.
24 seniors.
And all this
half your
coaching
coaches.
staff. And this train just keeps rolling. Meanwhile, Southern Illinois will have to sweat it out now over the next 18 hours or so and hope the Salukis feel like they've done enough to earn an at-large bid. Finishing 7-5. It would be the first playoff appearance for SIU since 2009.
Yeah, the winning streak that the Salukis were on, this 5-gamer here, was the best since that year you were talking about when Coach Lennon was in charge at the Salukis when they won 11 straight.
And whoever ends up with Jeremy Chin next year is going to be happy.
Yeah, that kid can play.
Oof.
But the Salukis were a team that knew that it had to get the ball, had to get it done on the ground, and it's just really difficult, even with over 200 yards rushing against NDSU, to outrush this team to beat them.
And that guy is going to be a handful the next 3 seasons. Williams finishing with 117 yards on 23 carries and the lone touchdown for SIU today. And Bison will go celebrate with the fans that made the trip here to Carbondale. And NDSU will be the top seed in the FCS playoffs. Selection show is tomorrow at 11:30. Matt Entz saying this week, when he met with his captains, do you want me to bring up the undefeated regular season? They all said, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
We want it. It's one of our goals. And then he said, you know what? If that's what they want, great. They earned it. They earned this opportunity, and they certainly have. Meanwhile, there's been some upsets in other games today. South Dakota has a lead against South Dakota State at home. Youngstown State knocked off Illinois State today, so now the Redbirds could be playing next weekend. And Montana went down, number 3 in the nation, to Montana State. So everything's going to be a jumbled mess. The committee has its hands full over the next 15 hours. Ryan Gellner will catch a word here with the victorious head coach Matt Entz. And Matt is now standing by with Ryan.
You did it. Yep. Undefeated. That was one of the goals.
It was. They did it. I don't know if I did anything with it. Kids did it. And keep responding. We had a couple setbacks in the first half. You know, the penalties and things like that we continue to try to coach up. But, you know, came out and did a great job second half. You know, had a big stop. Missed the field, forced them to kick a long field goal. They missed it. Had a huge stop down here. Had a little bit of everything in this game. This is probably exactly what we needed right now. Just someone to come check our oil to make sure we're locked in.
Obviously, you're not done yet, but emotional here. I saw you grab some assistant coaches, some coordinators. Yep. They were along for the ride. Pretty special.
It was. You know, half the staff was new. 85 days ago, we played Butler and didn't know what was going to happen. I still don't know about this head coach, you know, that we got. So just trying to take it day by day, and I appreciate it. Those guys do all the work, you know, and I couldn't do it without them. Our players know that. They're unbelievably appreciative of our staff. I'm unbelievably appreciative of our seniors and the leadership that they provided. I said it before, we don't have a ton of them, but we got really good ones. The 14 we have are really special kids.
Congratulations. It's been fun. Have a great Thanksgiving.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Ryan. And you talk about two of the seniors. Jimmy Kapuris today, huge on third down for North Dakota State to keep the offense on the field, and James Hendricks with some big stops in crunch time for the Bison defense.
Look at the big smile on Cordell Volson's face. He's hugging everyone in sight. You talk about a guy who loves to play the game. He certainly does, and he plays it well.
We step aside. We'll be back with more from here at Salukis Stadium in Carbondale, Illinois. We'll have a look around the valley, some of your highlights from today's game, and your Nodak Insurance Company player of the game. That's after this. (21-7) the final on the Ag Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. North Dakota State finishing off the regular season a perfect 12-0. Outscoring the Salukis 14-0 in that second half. Brian Shaw, Lee Timmerman back with you. Thanks for joining us all across the KVLY, KFYR, Bison Television Network, and LT. Matt Entz
I like
said,
that comment.
You know, it was good for someone to check our oil, and that's what happened.
He did. It's the opportunity to be tested this hard, knowing you have a bye coming, and after this win, you'll have the #1 seed. But, yeah, it is not a bad idea to be physically tested like NDSU was. It's a test that the Bison passed. Loved what the offensive line did in the second half.
Both teams really tried to establish that run game in different ways in that first half. Of course, SIU riding their redshirt freshman and the Wildcat numerous times today, and North Dakota State able to make enough plays on third down, sometimes third and long, to keep the offense on the field, which was really big today.
Yeah, those pass plays to Kapuris on those third downs to keep the NDSU on the field, and then they popped the Johnson touchdown to get the first score, and then the defense to pitch the shutout and have James Hendricks come up with those couple of nice plays, and James also had the interception. Seems like it happened so long ago, but he did have the interception and the turnover early in that in the first half. I shouldn't say early in that first half, but it happened in the first half.
Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. NDSU went to the quarterback run game a little bit more today. Trey Lance did have 10 carries today, including a touchdown run late in that fourth quarter.
He did, 57 yards. It was sacked a couple of times. The Salukis did a good job of getting to him, but here was that one of those passes to Jimmy Kapuris. And some of those big ones. Here's just a little hesitation, and then bang. Look at that speed getting through the hole.
Just great patience there from the freshman Kobe Johnson, who continues to play so well and make plays when he gets the ball in his hands. And then, as you mentioned, SIU airing it out. Hendricks in one-on-one coverage came up with a big pick.
Yeah, did a perfect job here to stay on the inside hip. The pass needs to be over the top. It wasn't over the top, a little bit short. Hendricks with the interception.
Meanwhile, SIU continued to hit NDSU over the head with their big old freshman quarterback. And the Bison had to get 3 or 4 yellow helmets to number 15 all day long just to bring him down.
23 carries he had today and only lost 4 yards. Again, that's the power. Here we see a little bit of speed and finesse at the end of that. The lone touchdowns for the Salukis, but Williams with 117 yards rushing.
Lance under some pressure today. Keonta Stallworth got in there. Was sacked twice, but no times in that second half. Knocking the baby to sleep there. And then Lance nearly giving NDSU the lead, hitting Kapuris in stride. He was just unable to get that 1 foot inbounds.
6 catches, 80 yards on the day for Kapuris, and almost to that touchdown. He was out by about that much.
Amazing how a guy like Kapuris, who again has been a solid, sure-handed slot receiver, but today he was the go-to guy for Trey Lance.
He had to work his way more into the game plan, not physically, but mentally, in terms of understanding, making the on-the-field adjustments. And it took, half the season before the Bison coaching staff started to trust him into those big down positions. And then today, of course, he flourished.
So North Dakota State making it happen, making the plays that they needed to make. And you also have to give the defense some credit as well for shutting out SIU in that second half, including that goal line stand, as we take a look at the final stats, sponsored by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers.
Yeah, the Bison end up just 8 yards shy of 400 yards, and of course, these 392 much more difficult to come by than the 700 yards they had last week against the Coyotes. That was really easy. That's like just turning on a tap and filling your glass up with yards. But today, they were certainly earned. The passing yards, double that the Bison had over the SIU Salukis. But with this game was won on the ground. Salukis over 200 yards. They did a pretty good job in that department. But in the end, NDSU's offensive line was able to grind out 246 and get those 2 big touchdowns in the second half.
And North Dakota State also a big time of possession advantage in that second half, 17 minutes to just 13 minutes for SIU. Better ball control, and again, the third down conversion is a big reason why. Those stats sponsored by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. We'll step aside and be back with a look at some of the second half highlights. It's been a wild day in the Valley as well. We'll try to break all that down. That's after this. Back at Salukis Stadium in Carbondale, 21-7 your final score. North Dakota State going 12-0 on the season. Brian Sean Lee Timmerman back with you. Thanks so much for joining us today all across the state of North Dakota, wherever you're watching this football game. Appreciate you being with us not only today but all season long to watch this amazing run from North Dakota State and win 33 straight games and 12-0 as I mentioned this season. Second half, North Dakota State imposed their will, got a big stop early after SIU had driven it a little bit, and then the offense just stayed on the field, put together a couple of big meat-grinding drives.
Yeah, you talked about the time of possession. Bison had it first quarter, Salukis had it second quarter, and of course NDSU getting things done both on the ground mostly, but through the air here. Here's Christian Watson with some tough yards at the tail end of that.
And that was on third down. And then Kobe Johnson continues to impress with a strong running for being 170 pounds. And he was really good when he got the ball in his hands.
Yeah, power worked fairly well today. Here's a power. See the pull from Zach Johnson. And there was not much for Zach to hit as Quinn comes in to take care of the quarterback on that particular play. But power was working in the second half.
And then Cofield laying the wood down on Quay Brown down towards the goal line. An 8-yard touchdown run gave NDSU the lead for good in that third quarter. And then Hunter Lukey getting his hands on the ball, getting NDSU in a third and short, and Trey Lance took advantage from that.
Yeah, here's that third and short play. We highlighted the nice job that Zach Johnson does downfield. Look, he wipes out the safety, and that's your go-ahead touchdown.
Well, North Dakota State really cleaned things up, too, with the penalties in the second half after having 4 in the first half, and then James Hendricks, the 2 big stops at the goal line.
Yeah, James comes through, takes care of the quarterback. Then they put the big guy in there, and Hendricks along with Henke on the fourth down stop keep the Salukis out of the end zone. But even at that stage of the game, the Salukis didn't have a lot of time to work with, even if they get the ball in the end zone. But they never had that chance because of those third down and fourth down stops.
You know, the one thing we've been monitoring all day long is, okay, we know North Dakota State's going to be the top seed now. Mm-hmm. Who is going to be seeds 2 through 8? James Madison won today. You'd have to think for certainly they're the 2 seed. 3 through 8 now is getting dicey because there have been some upsets across the board. In the Missouri Valley, a big one earlier today, Illinois State on the road at Youngstown State and Bo Pelini's bunch pulling off the upset 21-3.
That's a team you simply cannot figure out because truth be told, it looked like they gave up 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, and now here at the end of the year they take one away from Illinois State. And when Illinois State thinks, hey, all we got to do is go win, beat Youngstown, they haven't been playing well, and we'll be a seed. Now what?
And Illinois
Northern,
State,
I like the way Northern's playing though, even though they got beat recently
by Youngstown. And Illinois State, down to their backup quarterback, was a freshman. They really struggled throwing the football today as Youngstown State put everybody in the box, and that was part of the reason the Redbirds struggled to score. Indiana State, a comfortable lead at Missouri State. The Sycamores trying to finish 5-7. And how about the game going down in Vermillion? South Dakota, a 24-21 lead. Less than a minute to go. South Dakota State has the ball in its own territory, but will have to get a long ways in a short amount of time.
Well, that's a rivalry game, and there's a reason you play those rivalry games, I guess, at the end of the year, because anything can happen. USD's certainly not making the playoffs, but if you're a Coyote fan, what would be the next best thing, knowing you're not in the playoffs? Knocking your in-state rival down a few pegs, and if that holds up, that's probably going to happen.
And South Dakota State, then, with that loss, could be playing next weekend along with Illinois State.
Yeah, they might drop out of that top 8 when it looks like they were securely in. The Jackrabbits the Jackrabbits came in ranked 5th in both of the polls, but we were just told that the Jacks fumbled the ball.
Fumbled the football. So now where do the Jacks fall in this playoff mix? That doesn't even include Montana today at Montana State.
Yeah, the brawl. Yeah.
The big brawl game, and it was a blowout. 48-14 the final. Montana number 3 in the latest poll. They're going to go tumbling down. So now who moves up? Sacramento State. Maybe today they're in progress right now, taking on UC Davis.
Yeah, so if Sac State wins that game, then you would assume that they would make a jump just based on what we just told you about the teams that didn't perform today.
And maybe Weber State moves back up again after dropping down a little bit. We'll try to get it all sorted out and figured out over the next 24 hours before NDSU finds out who they're going to be playing tomorrow on the selection show at 11:30. We step aside one more time. We'll be back with your Nodak Insurance Company player of the game. That's on the other side of this timeout from Salukis Stadium in Carbondale. Back to wrap things up here in Carbondale. 21-7 your final score as North Dakota State now will await to find out who they play tomorrow in the FCS selection show at 11:30 a.m. One guy that showed up big today, especially on third down, Jimmy Kapuris. He's the Nodak Insurance Company player of the game, and he's standing by with Ryan Gellner.
Yeah, guys, 6 catches, 80 yards for third down Jimmy. Jimmy Kapuris came up big a couple of times today. It happened to be on third down for a lot of them, but, man, every big play, you just seem to be there.
I mean, I got to give all the credit to obviously my lineman and quarterback, and just making the right read when it's time. So I mean, he's been doing an awesome job all year, just finding me on third down, finding the zone. So it's been really cool.
We've talked about this before, but the Jimmy Kapuris story is awesome. To transfer, come in, rip up the knee, work your way back, miss a season, and to do it like this, now an undefeated season, to be able to contribute the way you have. The last time we talked about the exact same thing, but now, a couple weeks later, it's got to feel pretty good to cap off the undefeated season, the regular season.
Yeah, no, it feels phenomenal. Obviously, all the guys in the locker room were going crazy. It was really special. Obviously, I was part of it last year, but it just feels that much better this year, just being in the game and getting all those reps and stuff, so it's really cool.
You had some huge catches, all of them, not all of them, but a lot of them on third down, especially early in this football game. Just feeling it out there, finding open spaces, what is it?
That's just the plays that we run. Coach Roll's been doing a great job all year, trying to get us open and just making the plays for us, really. And then obviously Trey's been doing his thing to get us the ball, so I can't complain.
I look over and I see your dad is here, Chicago, just a 5-hour drive away from here, so you were able to have some family here, even more special.
Got the whole family here. I love it. I mean, there's nothing more special than that, honestly, having them come here and see me play, take the time and travel here, so it was cool. It was awesome.
We'll let you go see your family and take that in, but we appreciate it. Player of the game, congratulations.
Definitely, I appreciate that.
Guys, we'll throw it back upstairs to you. We can get Trey Lance, and we can do that shortly, but I have to throw it back upstairs to you right now, and we'll gather him up.
All right, thanks so much, Ron. Appreciate that. And thanks to Jimmy, and congratulations to Jimmy. People forget Jimmy Kapuris went to Western Michigan. His head coach there, P.J. Fleck.
That's right.
And that's why he decided to leave when Fleck took the job at Minnesota. Did not play football for a year at the College of DuPage. Then found his way to North Dakota State, has bided his time, has overcome some injuries, and has been very productive here in his senior season. And, yeah, a very special moment, certainly, to have some friends and family at this game and to be a big part of today's victory.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it, too, but I remember back in fall camp talking with some of the coaches, and they said, hey, Kapuris catches everything. He catches everything. He just has to understand our offense a little bit more, and as that part of his game has developed, his production on the field has blossomed, and coaches they didn't lie on that one. You're right. He does catch everything.
And he takes some pops across the middle. That's not an easy position to play. You saw some of those catches. I mean, he got drilled across the middle a couple times. And that's part of that role for being a smaller guy. He does a nice job hanging on to the football and being a possession receiver.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. You line up in that slot. You're often working against a safety who's coming downhill to try to hit you. You're right. So there is an opportunity to catch the ball in traffic. But, yeah, you have to concentrate on ball first, and he does that.
Trey Lance, another solid game, finishing the regular season without an interception, running in for his 10th touchdown today as well. And he is standing by with Ryan Gellner.
Trey, I got to ask you about the guy standing behind you. Maybe the smallest guy on the field, but he doesn't bail you out, but he just seems to be open every time on third down.
Absolutely. He does a great job of getting open, doing his job. He's one of the hungriest dudes, I think, in that receiver room, and I think he's really stepped up this year, being a senior and just leading those young guys along with Phoenix, Christian, Zach Mathis, those guys. I think he's just done a great job all year, since the spring. When all those guys left, I think he really just knew that he had to step up, and he's been doing an absolutely great job.
It was tough sledding for you guys today. It was not easy to get yards today. In the end, though, you really grind this thing out, and you get a big team win today.
Yeah, absolutely. They were a good team, and I think they competed really hard. And that's what we saw on film. So, we knew coming in that's what they were going to do. But, yeah, all the credit in the world to them. They're a really good team.
That drive at the end of the third quarter opened up the fourth quarter. Really a meat grinder. You guys did all sorts of things, but maybe the biggest thing is took time off the clock and really sealed the deal on this one. Talk about that drive in particular.
Yeah, we knew, we just wanted to increase our time possession. One thing that, our defense did a great job today. Anytime we allow 7 points, it's a great job by them, and they have been all year. But just knowing that we need to control the ball a little longer in these possessions, obviously only with 7 points at halftime, that's not what we go in. What the goal is coming out. But yeah, just offensive line dominated, kind of took that one over. Anytime you can take eight a play with Adam in the backfield and offensive line dominates, a lot of fun.
Undefeated regular season, everything that's gone on, all the seniors that were lost, a new coaching staff, heck, a new quarterback. Undefeated. Pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Really exciting. I don't think there's anyone in our locker room that doubted that we would be here, regardless of, what other people thought. But I think that's just a credit to our coaching staff, the type of guys they are, and the type of, really father figures they are for us during the year.
You heading home for Thanksgiving?
Absolutely. Get to spend a little time with family. That'll be nice.
That's the important thing. Enjoy the bye week. We'll see you in the playoffs.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, and thanks to Trey and what this redshirt freshman has done.
I like the fact that Trey brought up the wide receivers because we asked the question in our conference calls with Tyler Roll. Tell us about where this team from game one to game now has probably improved the most. I asked that same question to Randy Hedberg. What did they both say? That wide receiver room, because Coach Hedberg said that went from a question mark to an absolute strength of the offense is that group.
And Tyler Roll, I think 6 times this year, brought up Noah Pauley and what he's been able to do to bring this receiver group along, not only as pass catchers, but as blockers on the outside as well. They've done a really good job of getting involved in the run game. That finishes the entire season for us. 11 broadcasts, 11 wins. It's been fun all season long, LT, to watch this team grow from Butler at Target Field back in late August to where they are now here in late November.
It certainly is. The physicality offensive line continues to impress as far as I'm concerned. That grinding inside from both the offensive line and the defensive line usually wins you football games. It's won 12 of them so far this year. And just like we have done in the past, we will continue to follow Bison football through the playoffs in terms of our Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame shows.
Yeah, be sure to tune in to the Bison football head coach show with Matt Entz tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. on KX4 Out East and NBC Out West. Selection show is 11:30 tomorrow morning, so be sure to tune in for that as well to find out who NDSU will be playing. And again, Bison will have a bye next weekend, and they'll get somebody who's playing next weekend, so it comes at a really good time. And overall thoughts as North Dakota State hits the stretch run here in December, where the Bison have only lost once at home in the Division I era.
Yeah, that's crazy when you think about that. A Final Four finish is the worst the Bison have done in that stretch run, and that was the year that JMU ended up picking up it all. But just, impressive. I mean, what more can you say? This team answered all those questions, and for the opponents that they're playing, created so many questions in how are we going to stop these guys?
It's been a fun ride. We hope you've all enjoyed it as much as we have. From the Fargo Dome to Illinois State to Target Field, all the fun places we've had a chance to visit this year, including here in Carbondale at Southern Illinois. Be sure to join us for the Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame shows starting 2 weeks from today when NDSU is back home for the first round of the playoffs, and we'll take you all the way home. As long as NDSU keeps playing, we'll stay on top of the coverage as well. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to all the people that help out behind the scenes, whether it's been in Fargo or some of the other places on the road we have gone. And most importantly, thanks to all of you who have tuned in all season long for this amazing run of North Dakota State football. The Bison have won 33 straight games now, dating back to the 2017 season. Enjoy the playoffs, everyone, for the final time. For Lee Timmerman, Beth Houle, Kyle Emanuel, and Alex Egan, and our entire crew, I'm Brian Shawn saying so long from Salukis Stadium in Carbondale, Illinois. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving week, and we'll see you in December for some playoff football. So long, everybody.